Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Please remain standing for the national and AU anthem. Our minister is in our midst, Honorable MICT, the Minister of ICT. Welcome, Honorable Minister. Namibia, land of the brave, freedom fight, we have won. Glory to their bravery, whose blood waters our freedom. We give our love and loyalty, together in unity, contrasting beautiful Namibia, Namibia, our country, beloved land of savannas, hold high the banner of liberty. Namibia, our country, Namibia, motherland, we love thee. Let us all unite and celebrate together the victories of our liberation. Let us dedicate ourselves to rise together to defend our liberty and unity. Oh, sons and daughters of Africa, flesh of the sun and flesh of the sky, let us make Africa the tree of life. Please be seated. Once again, Honorable Minister of ICT, Honorable Emma Inamutila Phyllis, and our ED in the ministry, Ms. Linda Nanjila Aipinge, the senior management of MICT present here this morning, distinguished guests, dear colleagues and friends. Good morning once again. And welcome to our ministerial main Mental Health Day commemoration. This year, I know 9 days ago we were here, but this one was really the call from the High Office, the Office of the Premier. Now, ladies and gentlemen, today's Mental Health Day commemoration is being held under the theme, Promoting Wellness, Preventing Despair, a collective commitment to mental health in the public service. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Heleni Philippus Hamunyela. I am a senior communications officer in the subdivision Government Information Center under the Directorate of Audiovisual within the Ministry of MICT, of course. And I am honored to be directing this morning's proceedings. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I was actually looking around for Mr. Regan Malumo. He should have been blessing this occasion with a prayer. Is he around yet? If he is, can he please move forward? Mr. Regan Malumo. In his absence, Can we have someone volunteer to do the prayer for us this morning? We are a Christian nation. A volunteer to say grace this morning? Mr. Ogulo, please come forth. Thank you.
You know, when you are called to save, you come and save. Eh? I never prayed in English. This is my first time. So, let's bow our heads. Thank you, Father Lord, for this beautiful morning and for gathering us all here to discuss the issue of mental health. Be with us. Whatever we discuss here today, may it be impactful and that we may be able to save others, as the essence of life is to save others. So give us the wisdom and everything we need today. Amen.
And he said it's his first time praying in English. Wow. I think your future life, you may just be a pastor in your other life. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, we are a Christian nation. Now, I just wanted to let you in on one of my favorite verses from Psalm 118, verse 24. Can you please settle down and please, can we remain silent? Thank you. Now, this is my daily affirmation. Every morning when I wake up, I tell myself, it's in the scripture in Psalm 118, verse 24, and it says, "This is the day that the Lord has made, and therefore we shall rejoice and be glad in it." Right? And we build on from there. All right. Now, ladies and gentlemen, since the inception, dating back to 1992, this day reminds us that mental health is not a private struggle, but a shared responsibility, one that calls upon each one of us as public servants, as mothers, as fathers, as brothers, as sisters, as cousins, as neighbors, and ultimately as human beings, to extend compassion, to be sympathetic and empathetic towards one another, to listen without judgment, and to help create safe spaces in our workspaces for one another. Ladies and gentlemen, according to the Namibian Police and Ministry of Health's record, Namibia recorded over 542 suicide deaths between 2023 and 2025. The statistics include 8 boys and 5 girls, unfortunately, of which the youngest was 5 years old. Unfortunately, this then also makes Namibia one of the countries with the highest deaths due to suicide in the world, and the first in Africa. Based on the statistics, those are more than just one life lost every single day, right? Many of these were our brothers, our sisters, colleagues, young people who felt unseen, unheard, and overwhelmed. So, ladies and gentlemen, today's commemoration is a reminder that we seriously ought to break the silence surrounding mental health suicidal behavior. And while we are reminded that it is okay not to be okay, ladies and gentlemen, silence can be very detrimental. However, conversations and learning to speak up can very well save lives. Now, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, please help me welcome onto stage our own Minister of Information and Communications Technology, Honorable Emma Inamtila, the brave lady. Honorable.
I think I prefer to speak without standing stationary. Thank you very much, Heleni, for inviting me up. Good morning to all of you. I recognize the presence of our acting ED, Madam Nakale, our entire management of the Ministry of ICT. I also know that we have some members from the Ministry of Health joining us. Perhaps you could just rise so we can see you, that you are amongst us and that you'll be speaking to us. Welcome. Let's give them a round of applause. Thank you very much. You may be seated. Well, ladies and gentlemen, members of MICT, I'm very happy that we're able to convene this very important activity in our ministry. Our ministry is one of the smallest ministries in the whole of government, which means that we are more often than not, a close-knit family. We almost know each other, not only here at the head office, but across the country because we're such a small team. But it's also within small teams that we're able to bond better, or we're able to share, because I believe that majority of the time in a year, we spend it with each other, don't we? We spend it together in the office. Sometimes we spend it together traveling outside of town to attend to some serious business. In time of crisis, we also spend it together. So it's only fair that as a collective, we hold each other's hands, we be each other's sisters and brothers keepers, and that we create an enabling environment for the place we spend most of our time to be a safe space for us to take care of one another. About a couple of weeks ago, Cabinet took a decision that every institutions of government should have a safe space in addition to the wellness policy that exists in each ministry. And we are quite honest in that discussion in Cabinet, because we were saying we have a wellness policy and most OMAs have a wellness committee. However, we are not seeing the impact we want to see all the time. We have our colleagues, our brothers and sisters committing suicide or attempting to commit suicide, which means that perhaps we're not doing as much as we can to actually look after one another in the spaces we spend most of our time. And that is why I'm glad that post that cabinet decision, the Ministry of ICT, led by our Executive Director, has identified a place already for the Ministry of ICT to have a safe space. And this is really a place for you to go when you are unable to focus in the office. You need just a few minutes away from your desk. You need to align your thoughts. You need to process some feelings. A nice quiet space for you to decongest whatever you might be feeling. And we're not saying that necessarily it's the solution to everything. More often than not, we still do need professional help. And that is where we are joined by our colleagues from the Ministry of Health to share what some of these avenues for assistance are. But beyond that, being, workplace individuals where we have access to resources, there are many ways in which we can teach ourselves about the reality of mental health. And I'm always stunned as someone who takes a great interest, who's very curious about a lot of things. I don't hesitate. If I don't understand something, I most likely Google it or find somebody who knows it better to explain it to me like a 5-year-old so I can better appreciate that matter. So it always baffles me that as individuals who have access to resources, we have access to the internet, public libraries, we know one person or another that works in a professional setting, and we don't actively look for information. We don't actively want to know about the realities of things that we might not understand because of our background. It's no secret. People who look like you and I, and from the cultures and traditions we come from, there used to be a saying that mental health are problems of white people. Am I lying? I'm not. And it's a conversation you grow up learning to say, but no, that doesn't affect us. Us, we are strong people. But mental health is like any other illness that you experience in your physical body. You can't be stabbed, Somebody can't stab you or shoot you. And then you say, no, I'm fine. That doesn't affect my body because we are strong people. It doesn't work like that. Mental illness and mental health is the same. Once you are sick, you are simply sick. Once an organ of your body fails or gives you trouble, whether it's your heart, your kidney, your liver, your whatever it may be, your stomach lining, anything physically can make you sick, and your brain is no different. It is simply an organ like any other organ in your body. You know, many of us complain, oh, I have a headache, I'm having some reflux, I'm having some heartburn. Mental illness shows up in that way as well. Nobody asks for it. Nobody should be blamed for it. It's simply an illness that will find you, like any illness that will find your physical body. So we must find a way to actively stigmatize, anti-stigmatize against it. And the only way we can do that is we actually actively take an interest in learning about it. You know, you must take an interest. You must read up on various research done, research material out there. Watch some YouTube videos. If you learn faster through watching videos, listen to a podcast. All of that is necessary to actually equip yourself with the necessary knowledge to better understand what mental health and mental illness is, how it occurs, how you can deal with it personally, because one way or another, all of us are affected by it. Maybe not you personally, but I can guarantee you that every one of us sitting here knows of somebody that has taken their life, has attempted to take their life, is literally not well and needs psychological assistance, therapy to actually get through their life. So all of us are affected. But you cannot walk through this life and not want to learn about it, to know about it. Not only in the event it affects you personally, but those that you love. Because whether we like it or not, we form part of the community to assist that person going through that illness. The same way somebody suffers from cancer, for example, or somebody gets a very, very bad diagnosis. You as a sister, a brother, an uncle, a nephew, a granddaughter, a daughter, a son, a neighbor, a fellow community member, you have a role to play in supporting that person. But if you have no knowledge whatsoever, how will you play your role in being that supportive community for this person, a colleague? So we must take the necessary steps to equip ourselves. And also personally, in my young life, I realized that seasons come and go. Nothing lasts forever, and it's very, very, very true. We were just having winter now, and winter was my favorite season. And here comes summer. And I saw a meme where mosquitoes take the shift from 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. and the flies take over from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. And it's so true. It's the most irritating season of my life. I don't like summer at all. But there are those who enjoy summer and love it, which means we are alternating. You know, those of us who love winter, that season has gone, but it will come again. And those who are experiencing summer and love it are enjoying it. But winter will come again, and they will not enjoy that season. So seasons come and go. And although it seems they might last forever, whatever the situation may be, know that every day you wake up is a gift, not only to yourself, but to your community, to the people that you love. I doubt that you could have a physical diagnosis of an illness and refuse to go to the doctor, that you'll be in so much pain and you don't go look for help, whether it's to get painkillers or to ask somebody, what organic remedies are there to ease my pain. So the same way with mental health and mental illness, we must actively go look and seek for help. We are not an island. All of us here are not an island. We don't walk through this life as one individual. We form part of a collective. And just like a doctor cannot treat themselves, for example, everybody needs help. Everybody needs assistance from somebody else. So as we reflect on this commemorative day of mental health at our small and close-knit ministry, let us destigmatize the way people feel. Let us utilize the resources available to us. Let us seek the help that we need to seek. And in doing so, we're able to show up as our best selves, to add value to this opportunity we've been given to serve the Namibian people, but we can only do that when we're at our strongest. So I urge all of us to support those that might need the help to seek it, so that we can collectively add to the value to this wonderful country we have. So I look forward to hearing from our colleagues from health in breaking down some of the terms that we hear, some of the issues we might not fully understand. But after this, I urge every one of you to go out there and do some more research. Do a lot of reading, understand those terms better, those conditions better, so we know not only to show up for ourselves, but also to show up for our loved ones. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Honorable Minister, for those warm welcome remarks and that inspiring speech. Indeed, we took away from that speech, we are not an island, and let's try, by all means, to be each other's keepers, and you know, look out for one another. Let's create a safe space for one another. The other day here said that as employees of MICT, but not just MICT, as civil servants, we spend much time at our workplace. It's almost like we live at work, but we just go sleep at home because it's a few hours and then we are back at the office. So we really, really need to emphasize on creating safe spaces in our work environment. Now, ladies and gentlemen, up next on our program, we are moving right into the heart of our discussion. Mental health is not only about illness, right? The minister also mentioned that in her speech earlier. But it's about balance, about awareness and care. To guide us, we will now have an introduction on mental health, providing a insight to the rest of the session. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome on stage Ms. Linekela Kalimba, Senior Health Program Officer in the Ministry of Health and Social Services, to come and do her presentation on training, introduction, mental health. Ms. Kalimba. Oh, goodness. Oh, when... Yeah.
Good morning, colleagues. Good morning, Minister. Thank you. Okay. My name is Linekela Kalimba, as it was said, and I'm from the Ministry of Health at the Directorate of Training. The whole training issue was organized by Minister of OPM, Office of the Prime Minister, because they think we need to come and speak about mental health at workplaces, because each and every one spends a lot of time at work than at our own places, at our own houses. I'm so happy that our minister summarized everything what now I'm afraid of Minister of Information, because they summarized everything what we are going to do or what we are going to talk about today. So we are only going to take you maybe step by step, but she have already summarized everything. Thank you very much, Minister, for understanding that. And then I think you are the first minister to be with your people, with your staff during this time. Yes. Okay, I think maybe I will start. The ministry, okay, I'm just going to tell you about how is mental health in the Ministry of Health. Okay, Ministry of Health has got one department, which is Disability Department, and mental health is under that. And it has got one senior health program officer who is running it, and her name is Mrs. Didalelwa, and she's the one who is responsible for mental health in the whole country, and it's only one person. And she's the one writing the speeches for the minister, running everything. You have seen that last week, the mental health bill was tabled. She was busy with that. And mind you, it has been started since 2006. And it was only tabled after 24 years. So, yes, because we worked, we thought out of the box. Okay, I'm going to discuss that with you later. Okay, and then also we only have got 2 hospitals which are handling the the mental health issues in the country. That is Oshakati Ward 16, which is seeing about 100 patients per day, and also Windhoek Central Hospital, which is seeing about 150 to 200 patients per day, where Dr. Shisea is working. You know, I'm used to Dr. De Almeida, so she got married and that name must be said. Sorry. Yeah. So now, why is the ministry having this? Okay, maybe I can. Okay. Sorry. So much. Thank you. Yes, I was saying yes. And then, you know, in the country, we are still using the Mental Health Act number 18 of 1973, and then the Criminal Procedure Act, Act number 51 of 1977. But luckily, we have been saying we were hoping to be tabled, we are hoping that the bill to be tabled. But last week, luckily, we got it tabled, which is very good. Okay? In the country, we have got 5 psychiatrists. These are the people, the doctors, who went to study and then they became doctors. After being doctors, then they went further and they specialized in mental by studying again for 4 years, and then they will become psychiatrists. We have got 7 of them in the ministry, but in the country, we have got less than 10. And 7 psychologists, which are only in 3 regions. I think 5 in Windhoek, 1 in Oshakati, and 1 in Erongo. Okay, we have got 11 nurses who specialize in mental health, me included. And you know, even if you see lots of nurses, no one wants to study mental issues. Okay, at OPD yearly, this amount was counted from 2024 April up to 2025 March. We have seen 91 patients, 544, and 91,544 patients, and 11,489 of them were admitted. Okay, as I said earlier, mental health bill was tabled last week. This is Monday, so this is my first thing. And the mental health policy of 2005, which it is guiding us now, need to be revised. And the minister has appointed mental health board members for Windhoek Central Hospital and Oshakati Intermediate Hospital, Ward 16. We have also appointed focal people in the 14 regions, where about 9 nurses, those who specialize in mental, they are the focal people in 9 regions. And then some of them, there is doctors who are focal people, and then also social workers. Okay, we have also created a mental health strategy in collaboration with all relevant stakeholders. And then the WHO also hired a consultant to assist us in the mental health issues in the country. But he has not started yet. He's still going to start. So there's a training which is coming up, human capacity building, which we call MHCAP. And also we are inviting nurses to specialize in mental at UNAM. It's just a 1-year course. So far, we are trying to, like all the nurses, because nobody wants to go. So we are now trying our best so that we can train the nurses who are, when I say ART, you understand? Okay? Where the people getting their medications on HIV, all those nurses are trained on how to screen so that whoever comes to get their medications on HIV, they are going to be screened whether are they suicidal or do they have any mental health issues. And also people who are getting TB, treated for TB, their nurses and doctors were trained so that they can have a tool to have and screen everyone who is coming for TB treatment or ARV treatment. Challenges. We have got a very big challenges facing mental health services delivery in the country. I graduated in 1994 at UNAM as a nurse, and some of the people were not born. Maybe. Yes, and then I started working at a mental hospital in 1995. That was my first year. That time, we only had one room, which was specialized, for the children. As we are talking now in 2025, we have got a fully fledged ward for children where they have got mental issues. So, this social impact on stigmatization and discrimination, social ills and very increasing, and the family distress is one of the causes of this ward. Yes, because one child, we have seen, we are all adults here, and then I'm happy that we are all on a bearing age, giving birth age, or parental age, because some of the, either if it is not your sister's children or your brother's children, you are taking care of your own children or whatever, but I don't want to dwell on that. But we have seen now how the children are. Have we seen them? And we want to make them, to bring them up the way we were brought up, which is not good. Because nowadays, we give them, when you were, I saw the phone, now you know my age, if I graduated that year, I saw the phone in 1995, I think, when it came to Namibia. Okay. So, but now for you, your child was born with it. And these children, they are exposed to many, many, many things. Some of them are good to them, some of them are not good. But we as parents, what are we doing now? We are speaking for the future now, and then we are still discriminating. Okay? And then the comorbidities and with physical health, many people are getting diagnosed with many with many diseases. For example, if I become diabetic now today, and the ministry have recruited me to do the facilitation and training, how will I survive? How will I survive? It is just going on to my mind, and how will I survive? How will I survive? How will I survive? Till I cannot think anymore. What will happen? I will become mentally disabled. And then what will happen? And then, okay, we are at work. If somebody is mentally disabled here or challenged here, what do we do first? If we see the, we go to the next office, ne? Yeah. And what do we do? Yes. And then it will go up to there, up to that corner. It will go. Except this person. And then we start isolating from this person. We don't want to be associated with them. And then Friday, I was so surprised and I was close to cry. But older women don't cry. One man stood up and said, "Do you know, I'm your patient." And then I have seen his face at a mental hospital. He said, "I'm here because I have got a good support of my bosses." We told those bosses to stand up because it's not easy, but if the person, we only see, okay, the mental issues which we see is the person who is already confused. That is, for us, it's just a symptom because that person has been doing that. Any mental problems which are not treated, the person will end up in the street, picking up the gap and whatever. And then what is that person? That person is not on treatment. If you take that person and then put them, give it to, now you know Dr. Sisea. If you take her and say, "Doctor, here's one patient," she will treat that person, and then that person will not be roaming the streets anymore. But what do? We are afraid of the person. The person did not do anything to you. Now he's running and you are running away from him. He's also running away because he thinks it's not me the people are running away from. There's something there, and then we are all running now. And you think he's chasing you, but he's not chasing you. It started there. Yeah. Okay? The impact on vulnerable populations. We all know key populations, ne? We know all the key pops. What do we call key pops? Key population is the government does not have a word for LGBTQI. Yes. So we put them together with all the vulnerable people, the old people, the small children, the LGBTQI people. So it's one key population. But now, people are following too much onto the LGBTQI. This person decided to have a different sexual orientation, not different from yours. And now, it's a talk of the nation. Why? This person breathes their own guts, oxygen. They eat from their own plate. They sleep on their bed. Own bed, does not sleep on your bed, does not eat from your plate. Why is it a problem to you? Yeah. So we must only stay in our lane, play in your barn. So with other people who are vulnerable, if you are not going to help, then you must not talk about it. If the person is closing the door, every day coming, he used to speak to you, and then all of a sudden they see that maybe there's something happening and what, and you are the witch and what, and all those things. Ne? Do not go and talk about it for the sake of sharing. Go and talk about it. I hope you have got a wellness officers at your places, here, and the MICT. Yes, go to the wellness officer. That is why they are there. Speak to them. Later on, this person will go to the psychologist. We all have got our medical aid, thank you to the government. So why should we worry about another person and share their informations? We must only share when we are going to help. Share for help, not for discriminating and victimizing somebody. Are we together? I'm getting paid to talk, sorry. And then I wanted somebody to time me. I only have got 7 minutes left. I used to see this face somewhere. Okay. Who has got a watch but is working? Okay, good, thank you. I wanted a watch, not a phone. Yeah, because we look too much into our cell phones than looking into ourselves. I want us to look into ourselves, not on cell phones today. Okay, education system. The challenge on the educational system, the school children behaviors. Ooh, substance use, mental illness. We are so lucky that the Ministry of Health has started now doing training for life skills teachers. We started with Commerce region. We are done with Commerce region and Oshana, and the other 12 regions we are going to continue with next year. I want to talk about the children's behaviors. When I say braai pak, do you understand? You're all Ventukas, ne? Do you understand when I say braai pak? How do we cook it? We share recipes. That one win me. Yeah, if you put in too much water, what will happen? Who has cooked braai pak? Yes, if you put in too much water, what will happen to the braai pak? It's like this, ne? And people will not eat, or they will eat like this. Yeah, if you put it in little water and you want to fry it, when the people are eating, the blood is running, ne? If you don't cook too much. If you you cook it first and then you put it in the oil it will become too tight, ne? That is our children. Our children for today, they are like that. If you put too much water into them, too loose, they will become like that, and nobody can use. They will not be usable citizens. And then if you too much rigid on their behaviors, then so we must balance. Ne? Please, let's balance, because I'm speaking for the future now. Know for sure, God forbid, if somebody around us here is going to commit suicide or getting mental illnesses, it's like 1% of you. 1%. Because you have already grown up, and then you can already manage it. Even if you have it, you can already manage it. But we are always afraid of the earlier you get into these mental illnesses, the lifetime you will have it, because you don't know any other. But later in your life, you can always refer to and say, how did I manage those other problems? This small child have never managed any other problems. So they will be into like that. And you know, it is escalating. We are admitting professors. We are admitting ministers. We are admitting specialist doctors. We are admitting small children. We are admitting, yes, bad, very, very bad. Very bad. I wish I can tell you. Bad in women. Very bad. So we must really take care of ourselves. You and yourself, take care of yourself. Play in your barn and seek help where it is needed. So it does not discriminate. Yeah. And economic, that one. Wellness people, have you done the workshop on money issues? Oh, thank you. That is where I can say here. Yeah. If I can give you one example, there was a lady admitted. She got a loan. The boyfriend said, get a loan for 30,000. They got a loan to do something. And then the people, they got a loan, and then now they invited all the friends Friday. Monday when they woke up, she woke up, all the money is gone. They ate up all the money. And she came to work, and the friends and everybody brought her there at the hospital because she cannot talk anymore. She only told one person that, I got a loan Friday, 30,000 to do what? But boyfriend said we must call a party. People came and ate up all my money. And now, I don't know how will I pay it. I did not do what I made for. Now, that was the last word. She cannot talk. Yeah. So, these are the things. Please. Yeah, shortage of manpower. Like I said, 150 to 200 patients are seen per day. And then the doctors are when doctor comes here, she's happy to be here today because at work, to face those 200 people every day. Yeah. The challenge is also the psychotropic medications. We say drugs at hospital. Psychotropic medication, which sometimes is not there. And then when you put the person on a different medication, which you can also go, we call it a second generation, it's also not there. So then you go and look for another one. When you give it, and then it's not maybe compatible with a person's life or body. And then this one is also in, yeah. Strategies. When we finish the teachers, we are coming again to train all the wellness officers on mental issues. Ne? We are coming for you. And we also want to decentralize the mental health. I was so happy last week, because the architectures of a new hospital, ne? The one which is going to be built in the Katutura for the district of Katutura, they called us and then they said, how do you want mental to be? We were so happy to get involved, to do all these things and have a comfortable space. Have we ever visited mental hospital in Windhoek or in Oshakati? Oh, that's good for those one who have gone. If you have not gone, you can go take a KFC and take to some of the people. You can get a friend there. Yeah, yeah, but they will become better. Even if they are insulting now, they will become better. And you must go to, no, Dr. De Almeida will kill me if I tell her which words. Word C. Good. So, it's just to tell you how is everything in the country at the moment. and then you're going to discuss on common diseases with a doctor and everything. Yeah, good. Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Ms. Kalemba, for that comprehensive and insightful presentation. It is really an eye-opener to most of us. And indeed, we are reminded that mental illness does not discriminate. Today, you may be the you now, and tomorrow, it's another different story. So let's, by all means, try to always Oh, okay. All right. Yes, let's try to be each other's keeper. And we are reminded, she has constantly reminded us to play in our bands, ne? Keep in our lanes. Right. Thank you so much once again, Ms. Kalemba. The director of AVM, Ms. Rosalie Apenda, has a question for you, Ms. Kalemba. Let me just give her.
Thank you, Madam the host. Ms. Kalimba, I wanted to find out, because when I look at the statistics you gave on the type of skills that we have in the country, I'm missing, maybe I miss it, or maybe I was looking somewhere else when you were kind of recounting how many psychologists, psychiatrists, and so on that we have, and psychologists. But I'm missing the social workers, because I know that in most communities, especially the remote rural area ones, social workers are actually the ones that probably need the training you are talking about for identifying some of these mental challenges. So I'm just wondering how many social workers we have in the country and where they are situated, because let me put it this way. Most specialized people do not want to go and work in rural areas. That's a fact. I can cite a very good example of this is, let's take Imbalila Island, for instance. They have a health center there. But that health center has been without a doctor now for almost, I don't know how many years. And as soon as a doctor is appointed and they hear it's in Balila Island, they won't want to go. But I'm betting if a social worker kind of is appointed, they will probably, if they are from the community especially, they will be able to assist. I'm just saying, how many do we have? Or are we also lacking in that area? Thank you.
Thank you very much, Director. There's lots of social workers, and I think it's not like as scarce as these people. Yeah. And then the social workers, they don't need to specialize in mental, because like now in the whole country, they are the one who is managing the suicide. I don't know why it was given to them, but they are the one who is managing the suicide. But social workers, they are a lot. Yeah, a lot in the country for now. But even though they are not enough, like you are saying, they are too much into urbans and no one in rural areas. And because they said, because there's no, everybody, as a social worker, and then also psychologists, everybody become, they don't have like lower grades of them. They only have all degree people. When I come, it's only that my degree is less, has got less experience and yours is higher, and those. That is what is happening now. Yeah, but it's true that we don't have them. Yeah, we don't have, especially in the, but in the urban, there are a lot. Yeah, good.
Thank you. I wanted us to reserve, ladies and gentlemen, I wanted us to reserve the questions for later on. And now if you can just perhaps jot them down, and then we get to this question segment a little bit later on. Now, ladies and gentlemen, up next, we now explore the differences between mental health and mental illness. Most of us think it's one thing, but there is a distinction between the two. Now, ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming Ms. Dr. Pardon me, she earned that title, Dr. Shiseya, for a presentation on mental health and mental illness presentation. Dr. Shiseya, please join me in front. Let's please, a round of applause for her, please. Ms. Kalimba, Dr. Shiseya specializes in what?
She's an MO, medical officer.
Okay. Please, let's give another round of applause for Dr. Shiseya.
Good morning. Good morning, Honorable Minister and the AD. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. How are we doing? Really? Are we really okay? You know, it's so easy to say, how are you? I'm like, I'm fine. But you're not really fine. I don't expect you to tell me what's going on right now. Are we all okay? I know it's Monday morning, Monday blues. Probably the best day to start something like this on a Monday morning, right? Coming from probably either a relaxing or a hectic weekend. Can everybody hear me? Okay. Oh, perfect. So I like to do things a bit different, yeah? I want us to be engaging, number one. I don't want to just speak and you guys read and, nod. I really want us to be engaging. So this should be more of engaging presentation, because the reality is I'm going to touch on a lot of things that hit home. And hitting home could mean hitting home as in ourselves, right? Or hitting home could mean the people around us, our own colleagues, our families, our spouses, our children, our neighbors, our community, right? So my name is Dr. Shiseya. I got married in 2020. Can I tell you a little story about my wedding day? I got married on the 18th of December on 2020. That morning, my husband and I and our two witnesses and then the pastor and the magistrate were at church. It was a time when it was the gathering of 10, right? That morning, put on my dress, went to church, got married. The same moment I finished, went home, removed my clothes, put on my scrubs, and I was back at work. Yeah, that was my wedding day. Don't clap. But why? I was the head doctor during that time in the pandemic at Robert Mugabe Clinic. So I was Dr. D. Almeida. So some of you might remember me from that time. So that was my wedding day. My husband, however, promised me that on our 10th anniversary, he's going to blow me away and have a big wedding. Fingers crossed. But anyway, so before I go into my presentation, how much time do I have? Because I can take the whole day. 20 minutes. 6-year course in 20 minutes. Can I have 30? Can I have 30? I'll try my best to be as brief as possible. I'm not going to be clicking on one slide and I talk on one slide, I talk. No, what I do is I summarize everything that I'm going to present, and then we'll go through the slides, but most of the slides we'll have to skip because we already talked about it, right? Okay, so like our MC mentioned, that there is a difference between mental health and mental illness. But before I go into that, I want to quickly give you two scenarios, two stories, right? Story number one, a lady is in a relationship with a guy. Let's not talk about the marriage, but let's just say they're in a relationship, right? And the girl falls pregnant. Then she tells the guy that, oh, I'm pregnant. And what does the guy say? What is the common thing that happens, especially us in Namibia? It's not mine. Go look for the father. It's not my pregnancy, right? But things were fine in the relationship. And then suddenly, I'm not the father. Please go look for the father. What does that do to a woman already in that state? Guys, we need to engage. I'm not preaching today where we're going to do hallelujah. No. I want us to engage. What is the common response to a woman when you fell pregnant with someone you claim to be in love with or you love, and the person denies the pregnancy? Gentlemen, we also have to talk about this situation. Yes, ma'am, in the red. Depression, okay. Anyone else? You become shocked, yes. Anyone else? Devastated, yes. Anyone else? The gentlemen, please. I also need you to engage. What is the story that you guys say that, no, I'm not the father, but you guys were there in our enjoyment together? It's devastating to hear that, right? We all know that a woman, when she carries, a lot happens during that season in her life, right? To the unborn child. So now there's that denial of the pregnancy. So you have two choices, either to carry through or to, the most common, abort, right? Even though it's not legal, let's just be honest, these things happen. Your neighbor will give you a concoction, take newspaper, drink what, all this. Or sometimes there are some of my colleagues that are not doing the right thing, they will give you some tablets. And that's a reality. I'm not here to sugarcoat anything, I'm here to talk about the truth, right? Because we need to talk about these things. These are conversations that we need to often talk about, because we don't talk about them, we talk about them in the corners, right? So let's assume choice number one didn't happen. Or choice number one to abort actually happened, right? But that child didn't die. You tried and you tried and you tried and you tried. That child did not die. That pregnancy is still growing. So you can already imagine there's a devastating feeling or an emotion of the fact that already you're going to carry this child without a partner, number one. Number two, you tried everything that you were told to do that will make the child die, but it didn't happen. So now you're growing a child that you don't even want, and you didn't want from the moment the guy said no, right? So you can already imagine what's happening to this child that's being brewed, that's developing, because now there's rejection, there's neglect, the child is already unwanted. And now because of all the stress and emotion, the woman starts drinking alcohol, smoking cannabis or illicit drugs, right? Taking other medications that are not even safe for the baby that's being born, or the baby that's brewing, right? So the child gets born. What is the most common thing that we from above the red line do? What do? We give the child away to our grandmother, or someone is getting married, and what the common culture we do? We hand them over as a gift, right? Yes, it's the reality. I found you. People from above the red line. Is this not the truth that we do? It's the truth, right? Yes, okay. So now you as this child, remember, already you don't know your father. You hear that your mother is working somewhere, maybe in Windhoek, maybe she's got a good job. Now you gave away the child, you're done with that Thomas relationship. You're a good girl now. You're in Windhoek, boss lady, CEO, something, somewhere there. But your child is somewhere there in the north, right? Now this child is growing up, no father figure, being raised by whoever they were given to, whether it's a grandmother, auntie, or the newlywed. And we know what happens, guys. This child gets abused in so many ways. Physically, emotionally, psychologically, and worst, sexually, by whoever is taking care of this child, right? So now this child is growing, she's the one, or he's the one who's washing the dishes, cleaning the house, while the owners of the house children are the ones that are eating cornflakes with milk. You are eating bread and butter, if at all. Maybe you're eating okatete every morning, right? So there's already that negligence, there's already that neglect, there's already that abandonment, rejection. You can already imagine what's going on in this child that's growing. The child grows up, starts going to school, and then realizes, these other learners or these friends of mine, they've got parents that come and get them. Whether they're picked up by a car or they come to, maybe a nanny or helper comes to pick them up and go with them, but you go home walking by foot, right? So you can already, and I'm giving you this story for all of us to really take back, to understand that the reason why we are here, it's not about the things that happen while we are adults. It starts already from the childhood. And that's why I'm bringing up this scenario, so that when we are going to go through the slides, you have that in mind when we are going to have these discussions. Okay, this child is growing up and asking things like, but where is my father? Why don't I have a father? Or they are going to school and they're being taught about the family tree. There's a mother and there's a father, there's a grandmother and grandfather, there's a brother, sister, whatever. But that child has got zero. No mother, no father, doesn't know about the grandmother, or maybe the grandmother is the one that's taking care of the child and so forth. So can you already imagine the shift mentally that this child is going through? Now they grow up. Remember, there's already abandonment, there's already rejection, there's no love. This child knows nothing about what love looks like. Assuming this child is growing in a home where there isn't really a good relationship within the couple that's been given to them, right? Maybe he sees or she sees the auntie or the uncle is always fighting, exchanging words, beating, or maybe every year there's a new child being brought in the marriage or in the home. This type of things happen all the time. So now this child, remember, grows up as an adult, now falls in love. And falls in love with someone else that was raised in a completely different upbringing. There was a present mother, there was a present father. The father, let's just make a scenario. This is Thomas. Thomas was the one who was given away, right? And Selma. I hope there's no Thomas and Selma here. At the Ministry of Urban and Rural Development, when I was there, I was constantly talking about a Maria, and I was making examples of Maria. It's Maria's birthday. I kid you not, there was a Maria, and it was actually her birthday that day. We actually celebrated her birthday during this presentation. So is there Thomas here? No Thomas. Okay, Thomas, I'm not talking about you, okay? We're just making an example. Is there Selma here? Okay, Selma, it's not you, we're just making an example, okay? So Thomas, we know about the upbringing of Thomas. We're talking about now Selma, right? Selma's upbringing is completely different. It wasn't perfect. I don't know of anyone who can raise up their hand confidently and say, I grew up in a perfect home. No, right? So Selma had a dad present, had a mom present, things were okay. She had a very good relationship. You know how girls are and their dads, right? She had a very good relationship with her dad. And her dad will always be there for her. Whenever she's having trouble in school, the dad will always be there for her and tell her about things and life, and this is how a man is supposed to treat you and so forth. So Selma is coming from a very good home upbringing. And Thomas is the complete opposite. Now they meet. You can only imagine the dynamics. Assuming they get married. Thomas knows no love, no? Thomas only knows violence. Thomas doesn't have any idea of what a healthy relationship looks like. His is completely dysfunctional. Selma's is functional. They are together in the relationship. Selma is longing for someone that will protect her, that will care for her, that will give her attention. Thomas knows nothing of that. All he knows is go wash the dishes, go do the crawl things, go shepherd the, sheep and so forth. So now there's already that discontentment in the relationship because they don't even know what it is, right? And then Thomas starts beating because now Selma is asking and demanding for things because that's what Daddy told her. Daddy told her a man is supposed to love you, to protect you, to call you beautiful, but she's not getting that. And Thomas is not giving it to her. And there's already a problem in the communication because during that dating phase, and unfortunately, I'm very pro premarital counseling. It's always important to talk about these things, about your upbringing, family history. We don't do that. We only find those things when we're already in the fire. And the question is, why were these things not discussed during your courtship, right? So now there's already a fight. Thomas is beating Selma. Selma feels that this is the worst man in their life. But now if we look back as adults, looking back at the history, who is at fault? Is Thomas at fault for doing the things that he's doing to Selma? No. That's how Thomas grew up. That's how he was raised. That's the only picture of what marriage or relationship looks like. Do we blame Selma for demanding what she wants because of her father's upbringing? No. Pause that thought. So there's a lot already that has happened in the thought processing of Thomas from the time he was conceived, right? Pause that thought. That was my introduction, by the way. Okay, so, Mekalimba, oh, okay, awesome. Ms. Kalimba already mentioned that part of the reason why we're having this with the OMAS is because we've realized, working in the mental health center for the past 4.5 years now, is that there's a lot of stigma when it comes around mental health. And I love how Honorable Minister, you mentioned the fact that mental health is just like any other physical health. It's easy for us to say, no, I have to take my diabetic medication. It's okay, right? It's just diabetes. It's just high blood pressure. It's just migraine. Let me just say, let me take my depression medication. Ooh, depression, Navaldi. Depression, ooh, I don't want to be associated with the crazies. And that's a reality. And why do we do this? Because it's a culture. This is what we've been raised. This is what has been happening. Because other cultures actually embrace mental health. It's a normal illness just like any other physical illness. And this is why we are here, to create awareness, for us to be able to have open conversations about these things without having to shy away, to become each other's brother's keepers. If someone says they're going through a mental health challenge, it's not for us to go to Selma's office and to go and gossip about it. It's for us to say, okay, where can we seek help? How do we help you? Who is the next person in line within our ministry to go seek help for? And that's why we're talking about wellness officers as well, because it's important for us to have these structures within our workspace. I want to believe that every one of us here has medical aid, right? How many of us, and government medical aid is the best. We can fight about it, I'm telling you. It cannot compare to all the other ones. People are paying thousands of dollars per month for medical aid, while we are just being deducted a mere, you know how much we get deducted. So really, already we got blessing number 1 on that. How many of us have actually gone to a psychologist? Well done. Let's just clap for ourselves. And like you rightfully said, mental health is for white people. Psychologists are for white people. No, my dearest brothers and sisters of that are not white. I was about to say melanin depleted. It's recorded. I did not say that. You see how when you take your car for servicing, do you go take your car for servicing when it has broken down already? No. Most modern cars will warn you, service due in X amount of days, right? I would like us to have the same mindset. We all need servicing once in a while. And this servicing to go speak to someone. Do you know that even just getting a new position, a new promotion, a new job will give you stress? Do you know that? Every new phase in your life will require a different level of you. Your capabilities, your character, your personality is going to be tested. So these people are there to help you navigate through these different changes. It's not only when you have a problem. It's preventative care. And what do they say? What do we say? Prevention is better than cure. It is real. So if you realize and notice that something is not right with you, better to seek help before it becomes a big problem where maybe some of the things could have been preventable, right? So the World Health Organization usually celebrates World Mental Health Day. It's commemorated on the 10th of October, but it's usually throughout the whole month. And this is why we are here, to all the OMAS, for us to bring forth this type of awareness, because it's necessary. Our brothers and sisters are suffering in silence. It is not okay. It is not okay. It's not okay, but it's okay to not be okay. What is not okay is to suffer in silence, especially when help is available. And this is why I mentioned on the issue of medical aid. So this basically means that all of us has access to go and seek help. And help doesn't necessarily have to be only because you are the one that's going through. Maybe you are taking care of someone that's mentally challenged, whether it's your spouse, your neighbor, your colleague. You're going to seek help on how can you help them? How can you be your brother or your sister's keeper better? And like the Honorable Minister mentioned, it's important to do research. Most of the times we are here on our smartphones, on TikTok, Instagram, and whatever, but we spend time on things that don't really build us. It's just gossip, who bought what, who married who, who's what. Please, if you can just go there, short few minutes and just find out, what is mental illness? How can I help someone with a mental illness? What types of mental illnesses are there? We're going to touch on that, okay? So the theme for this year with the World Health Organization is mental health access to services, which is now mental health in catastrophes and emergencies. What is the catastrophe that we are going through right now as a Namibian nation? Suicides, exactly. Did you see the news of over the weekend? A woman, 23 years old. And you know the thing about women, with my experience, we don't usually take drastic measures like that when we want to commit suicide. We usually cry out for help first. What do? We do pills, right? Overdose on pills, especially when there's relationship issues there. You want to manipulate your boyfriend to not leave you. Am I not telling the truth? Come, if you leave me, I'm going to kill myself. You even send a picture of the tablets you're going to take. Right? So we usually do small things that can be lethal because most of the overdoses that women do is on Panado. Do you know the Panado is lethal? 7 grams of Panado can give you liver failure. And we don't do, unfortunately, liver transplant. So if you lose your liver, if your liver fails, there's no treatment. Yes. Panado that we're always popping here. My government is just Panado. Panado is dangerous when it's overdosed. And with men, it's usually the drastic. They do things like jumping off the roof and jumping on unmoving car and hanging themselves and so forth. So the catastrophe we are having now is on suicide. So we are here to talk about also suicide prevention. One of my colleagues is going to talk about suicide prevention for us to know what are the signs and symptoms that we're going to pick up or that we pick up in order for us to actually prevent that from happening. Okay? Okay, I mentioned why we're here, why this is important, right? Okay, let's go to here, but I'll block the screen. Anyone to tell me what is mental health? No right and wrong answer. When you hear mental, you know now our Gen Zs and our 2Ks, me and my mental health, I need to protect my mental health. What does that mean? When someone says that, what does it mean? In your own words, at least 3 people. To protect your peace. Anyone else? Sanity. Anyone else? Mental health. Someone from the back there, and I need a gentleman. I need a gentleman. At the back, there is 1, 2, 3 gentlemen, 4 gentlemen at the back. What is mental health? Yes, sir. Thank you very much. Yes, please. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Can we go? I'm the one that's also here. According to the World Health Organization, there are 4 facets of the definition of what mental health is. And many a times when we hear mental health, we think it's mental illness. And these 2 words can never be used interchangeably because they mean 2 completely different things. So let's break it down what it says. It says, mental health is defined as, number 1, a state of well-being. You need to be okay up here. That's number 1. Number 2, in which every individual realizes his or her own potential. Number 2, you need to know what your potential is because if you don't know, you will be like the wind. Wherever the wind blows, you go. Ladies, we come to business. Maria is selling Brazilian hair. I'm also going. Oh, he's selling, I don't know, whatever handbags. What is this? Fendi. What is this brand of the bags? Fen handbag. I'm also going to. Oh, he's shipping from China. I'm also going. You don't even know who you are. What if business is not even part of who you are or what your strengths are? So you don't know what your potential is. You just go around with the wind, okay? Then the third one is, can cope with their normal stresses of life. Is death normal? Is losing a job normal? Is breakups normal? Why is it that some people, when they break up, they feel it's the end of the world and they want to kill themselves? Again, we go back to childhood. Your thought, the way you process information. The way you process information is critical as an adult because it just shows you are unable to handle normal stresses of life. A boy has never dated all his life. He comes to university, 21 years old, he falls in love with Selma. Selma breaks his heart, boom. Life is not worth living. And Selma, if I can't have you, no one else can. It's the reality. Because the thought process, disappointment, resilience, nothing. Okay? So when you're able to be in a good state of mind, good state of well-being, you realize your own potential, right? You can cope with normal stresses of life, right? And you can work productively and fruitfully. Do you know that someone that's confident and is okay, there's a way that you can even read just by the way they're walking and the way they're talking, the way they carry themselves. Because 70% of communication has a lot to do with how you are, your demeanor, the way you appear. Someone that is not okay, you can tell by the way they walk. They're usually slouching or dragging. The voice is, the volume is, and the tone is very low. The hair is vuzu. No, really, you can just tell that this one, problem, apanga. Here, there's problems here, right? Okay? And then they're able to make a contribution to his or her own community. When you are mentally well, it's easy for your neighbor to tell you that they lost a loved one, and you can be like, it doesn't necessarily always have to be with monetary. It can even just be physically being there and assisting. But when you're not okay, I know it's just a family that's always dying. I know mine died last week. No one came to help me, anything. Question mark. It's alles alright here. You see? But when all those things are met, good state well-being, you know your potential, you know your strengths, you know your capabilities, you are able to cope with normal stresses of life, you got a new promotion, you understand the dynamics of the company and so forth, you are going to a psychologist to help you navigate this new promotion because you don't want to fall sick here, right? And you're able to give a good contribution to your community. That is what we call mental health. What is not that now becomes mental illness, because you cannot cope with the normal stresses of life. You do not know your own potential. Your state of well-being is not okay. You are not able to give back to your community, and you're not able to be productive and fruitful even at your workplace. You used to be someone that comes to work bubbly, always participating in the meetings, always answering questions, always greeting everybody. Suddenly, don't come even to work. You're always absent. You don't want to talk to anybody. You can hear the person's stomach is making gru. You ask them, are you okay? Have you had lunch? They're like, you're okay, but they're not okay. They can't even recognize. The brain and the stomach are not even aligned. The body is asking for food, but here, because you're not okay, you're not even recognizing you didn't eat for 3-4 days. It's not normal, and that's not okay. So mental illness are disorders resulting from changes in thought, changes in your emotions and your behavior. What you think becomes, and it shows in our behavior. You have the famous quote the famous scripture in the Bible, as a man thinks, so is he. I'll give you another one. You are what you eat. As a man thinks, so is he. Between these two, which one do you think is, there's only one correct one, but there's a tendency of also believing another one. Between the two, you are what you eat and you are what you think. Which one is the right one? You are what you? Okay, anyone else? Gentlemen at the back, you're shaking your head. Come now, let's conversate. Do you believe that you are what you eat? Okay, tell me why. Okay, but does food come out of the sky and falls down and your mouth just opens and you swallow? Because before you eat it, you have to think about it. Mekalimba was talking about braai packs here. Before you cook about it, you have to think about how am I going to prepare. So your mind is the most dominant one. Whatever you think, it will become. So if you think braai pack, you have to think about the recipe, and then eventually you're going to cook it, and then you're going to eat it, right? So how you think affects what you put in your heart, in your soul, and then it shows in your behavior. And that's why majority of the times, the most common mental illnesses are seen by our behavior. If someone is quiet, you cannot tell what they're thinking. You can't even tell what's going on in their mind, right? Like what we say, you don't know what's clapping, right? But the moment they start speaking irrelevant things, accusing people of bewitching them and they don't like them and the who is against them, removing their clothes, dancing naked on the streets, eating the caca on the floor, take the cacas and smear. It's the reality. Then we start saying, this one is having a mental illness. But do you know that stress on its own is also a mental illness? Ladies and gentlemen, do you know that stress is a mental illness? There's the positive one, but when it becomes a negative stress, it becomes a mental illness. Because now you start going to the doctor, back pain here, headache here, joint pain here. Oh, maybe it's rheumatic, but you're just 30 years old. You're like, oh, rheumatic? Eh? What is rheumatic with someone that's just 30? What joint pains are you going through? What are you doing? You know? No. Because when you go to your doctor, you are talking about constant headache. You were never in a car accident. You never had any head injury or anything like that, but you're having chronic migraines. Now you go, you do CT scan, you do to the point you even do MRI, expensive tests and diagnostics. Everything is done. Nothing is wrong. Do you know what it is? Because mental illness cannot be detected by any machine. Mental illness is a clinical diagnosis. And that's when they'll send to us now and they're like, this one possibly needs some help. Right? So what are the contributing factors to mental illness? Now we go back to the story of Thomas and Selma. Yes. Biological causes. We've got one, genetics. If you have someone in your family, and when we say family, we mean first generation. It must be like your grandparents or your parents or like the aunts and the uncles, but not the ones that are like your uncles, your father's brother's ex-wife's uncle's husband. Not that one, not that one. It needs to be a direct nuclear family. So it's either your grandmother, your grandfather, or if it's your uncles or your aunts, must really be within the family, not the ones far from the family, right? So the chances of you developing a mental illness is quite high. However, it does not mean that just because your father has a mental illness, automatically you'll get it. It just means that you are predisposed to it. It means the risk of you developing one is very high unless you actually take care of yourself. So there are people that have families, the parents that are mentally ill, but the children are actually okay. And then there are those where the parents are mentally ill and all the siblings are also having mental illness. And something was done wrong there. Something, because now it's a thing, this is our family thing, my dear. In our family, us, we have mental illnesses, it's normal. In our family, us, we don't get married. In our family, us, when the girls get married, the husband must die in the first year of marriage. It's a reality. And we normalize abnormal behavior. And these are generational patterns. Christians will call it generational curses. And something needs to be done about it. So even with mental illness as well. So if you know that someone in your family, someone close to you has got a mental illness, the question is, what do I need to do to never get there? And that's why we do preventative care, psychological help. Going to see a psychologist is important. Chemical imbalances. We hear when people are depressed, there's an imbalance in the chemicals, your hormones are not okay. That's also one of the causing factors. Injury to the brain, I mentioned when we were talking about the migraines, right? So if you were in a car accident before, you had a head injury, maybe you were in a fight, especially this rough sports, rugby, and all this contact sports, majority of those people later on in life, they actually develop mental illnesses, either schizophrenia or bipolar and so forth, or psychosis, because of the multiple blows they've had to the brain. Because imagine if you get a blow here like a boxer, your brain is obviously protected by the bones, right? It's a skull, but there's a shift. The same thing with babies, this thing of lifting the baby high and whatever, because if that brain hits on the skull hard enough, it's going to cause an infarct. So there's either going to be a bleed or it's going to be a damage there somewhere. And you won't see it now until they start growing up. And then now it's either going to be chronic headaches or you see that there's a change in their personality, because this part of the brain is called the frontal lobe. It actually is the one that where your behavior, your language and so forth is affected. So you'll see a change in behavior. When someone was in a car accident, they used to be sweet and so forth. Now they've changed in their personality. It's because they had an injury to the brain. So that's also one of the causes. Another one, very common, awambo, with pork, be above the red line. We like eating pork, nah? Have you ever gone to a restaurant and you said, I want to have pork schnitzel, medium rare? Well done. Pork is usually always well done because the infections with the pork itself is quite high. So if you don't eat pork that's cooked well, there's some eggs and parasites that can actually go into your brain, and then you end up having a mental illness. And one of the common ones is epilepsy, just shaking and foaming of the mouth, but it could be that because you're actually having eggs or parasites in your brain. So before you are diagnosed with a mental illness, you have to have a CT scan done first to make sure that there's nothing that's causing your change in behavior. Only then, when there's nothing, then you come to us. But if they find that there are worms and parasites, whatever, they give you treatment for it. But remember, the area where these eggs and parasites are living in, that area is already being occupied by something that's not supposed to occupy it. So there's already going to be a change in the electrical conduction of your brain is going to be affected. So chances of you developing a mental illness is also really high. So just keep that in mind. Infections, STDs, HIV, syphilis, thyroid diseases. Sometimes you can be having a thyroid disease and you're depicting mental ill symptoms. And now you think the person is crazy, but they're just having a thyroid problem. So you take medication, and once medication is done, those symptoms are going to go away. So before someone sends you to us, psychiatry or mental illness is a diagnosis of exclusion. What that means is, before you come to us, we have to exclude anything else that could possibly cause you to behave the way you are behaving. Only then can you be diagnosed with a mental illness. Social issues, substance abuse. Gentlemen, women also drink, it's a reality, but that is. You guys are not my friends today. What is it now? Huh? Substance abuse. Do you believe in the statement that men don't cry? Huh? Do men cry or men don't cry? Men cry. Tate, you cry. The only thing is we don't see the tears. You know where the tears are? Chwala. The tears go in the bottle. The tears go in the beating the woman. The tear goes in the gambling. The tears go in the Evelyn Street. I know, why are you guys not helping me? Am I telling lies? Gentlemen, you cry. It's just that our gender, we don't create safe spaces for us to see your tears. Why? Because when you cry, we then call you mukhus. We call you that you are not men. You are cowards. But why do we do that? It's because we were also raised that a man should not cry. Because if you as a mother give birth to a boy and a girl, if the girl cries, it's okay, baby, don't worry. You even wipe the tears of let the boy cry and you'll see. Hey, coward, don't cry. Men don't cry. Clean your tears. But that is bad because the child will never be able to actually express their emotions. They will carry on putting the emotions in there, keeping the emotions in there. You see the news we got this morning about the suicides? The third one apparently committed suicide because they were fighting over a cigarette. Eh? Do you really, really believe in your mind that someone will commit suicide because of a cigarette? No. That cigarette fight was a catalyst to whatever already has been ongoing in his heart, in his mind. And that's what happens to men. When that balloon bursts, it's a myriad of things that have been ongoing and piling, and because he doesn't know where to channel that pain and that hurt, he just says, you know what, nah? Here no further. I'm going. Family problems, relationship. We also know the statistics of this year where they said majority of the suicides among men is because of what? Finances and relationships. We're all human beings and everybody needs to be loved and everybody wants to be loved and everybody longs to be loved. And when we don't have that, we break. And that's a fact. Nobody can come and argue with me. If you say that you will never date in your life, you'll never get married, it's a lie. Because I'm going to ask you why. And you know what you're going to tell me? Where I come from, marriages don't look good there. There is a trap there. It's a trap there. Don't go in there. It's because of traumas that we've witnessed ourselves or our families, and you're like, you know what? Me, I'm not going to do. So players, ladies, when you see a player, he's not okay here, oh, I'm telling you the truth. Players are not okay here. Today they're with Maria, Selma, Martha, Monica. They are not okay. It's a cry for something that is paining them. And if you go back, it's either mommy issues or a previous relationship where they really loved the girl, like they said it's only Maria and nobody else, and that Maria breaks your heart. And you say never again because you've built walls around your heart and you said, I'm never going to love anyone else. So let me just be a player. Just keep a note. If you see a player, just know that they need to help, they need help, they need help, and we are here to help them. Incarceration, bullying, psychosocial, psychological, traumatic experiences. I just talked about now, traumatic experiences, right? Coping skills, self-esteem, and physical health. Did you know that if you have other medical condition other than the mental one, whether it's diabetes, high blood pressure, and so forth, you can also develop, tendency of you developing a mental illness is also high, even HIV. So we even have a diagnosis where it means depression due to another medical condition or psychosis due to another medical condition. It happens because that whole pill burden, or why am I the one taking this medication? Why am I always admitted? Why me? It can actually affect your psyche and you can develop a mental illness. So now imagine you're taking medication for a medical condition and on top of that you're also having a mental condition. It's preventable, it's just that we don't know how to seek help and we suffer in silence. We talked about this. What are the common mental disorders? There are a lot. There are really a lot. One of the books that we use to make diagnosis is called the DSM-5, Diagnostic Statistical Manual, 5th edition. It's as thick as a Bible, maybe even thicker. No, definitely thicker than a Bible. It's really thick, and there is a lot. Do you know that someone believing that you are cheating on them can be a mental illness? No proof. You're in a relationship. We're going back to Thomas and Selma again. Selma is getting calls from, I don't want to make, can I make an please don't, I'm just making examples. I want us to be realistic, okay? Let me look for another name before they go quote me on social media. Philip. Selma is working in the same office with Philip. Philip is always calling Selma. Selma also doesn't have boundaries. She doesn't tell him, listen, Philip, me, I'm in a relationship. You don't text me after 8 p.m. Like, you know. But anyway, Philip has a deadline because, Minister, we're having an event that we need to prepare for. So now Philip is constantly calling Selma. Thomas is here thinking that Selma is cheating. And the thing is now, Philip calls Selma. Selma puts the phone on speaker. Thomas can hear that this is work-related. There's nothing about, honey, let's meet at 8 o'clock. Nothing. It's just work-related. But he believes that Selma is cheating on him. That is a mental illness. Because there's no proof. There's no proof, but it has a lot to do also with insecurities. And again, how do you do about upbringing, his thought process? He was already abandoned. He's scared that Selma is going to abandon him. So now all those insecurities build in and he comes up with the most ridiculous accusations. Okay? So we got mental illnesses such as mood disorders. This is where you find your depression and your bipolar. Eating disorders. Ladies, eating our emotions. Huh? Your boss said something or your performance appraisal was not good. What do? We go and eat our emotions. I'm not saying that's a mental disorder on its own. I'm just saying it's not okay. Right? But we know mental conditions, for example, anorexia. Have we heard of anorexia? People that do not eat or they eat and then they vomit out because they believe they are fat. But if you look at that person is as small as a matchstick. So physically, they don't see that they are really skinny and they're malnourished, but because they are not okay in their head, they will not eat, and they actually tend to actually die because they become malnourished. Cognitive and developmental disorders, babies, moms, we talked about pregnancy. Do you know that when you're pregnant, if you don't eat well, if you take alcohol, if you smoke, if you take illicit drugs, it affects the developing brain of this child. So everything that you do, it starts sort of shrinking or destroying the brain cells of this child that's developing. And then when the child is born, you hear that when the child is born, the child must first cry, right? Wah! There are some babies that don't cry immediately. It takes a while. Some of them, they're taken out, they're born, they're beaten and whatnot, nothing, there's no reaction, they go on oxygen, they be in ICU. You can already tell that alone that this child is not going to develop properly. A child is working at only 4 or 5 years old. Is that normal? A child can't even speak at the age of 2, 3. Is that normal? A lot of it has to do with pregnancy. Those are the first things that you have to go back to. How was this mother raising this child when the baby was in the womb? Developmental delays, intellectual disabilities, where the child now have to go to special school because they can't just functioning in normal school, and those things usually come from teachers. The child is not concentrating, the child doesn't even know 1 + 1, and the child is in grade 3. It has a lot to do with here. And the second factor, it's when also during delivery process, the child was not born in the hospital, or if the labor was very difficult where the child was stuck and then there's no enough oxygen that went into the child's brain, or the child was in the stomach for too long, and then now the child started peeing and cackering in the belly, right? And they swallowed that. That affects them. So when they're born, they most likely all the time have mental illnesses, which is now with the developmental disorders. Anxiety disorders, how many of us can't even come here and speak without sweating? Your voice is gone, your throat is dry, you're having nausea, we're having diarrhea, you can't focus. Anxiety, there's different types of them. There's performance anxiety, there's social anxiety. I have a patient who can't even go to the shop. She can't even leave the house. As soon as she gets out of the house and she sees people, she goes back in. That is not okay. Psychotic disorders, these are the ones we see now all the time. Talking irrelevant things, saying they are seeing things. They'll be like, there's someone behind you. Now you're like, there's no one here. There's someone behind you. They're talking to you. Ooh, they're having a knife. Now you're, woo! Yeah, hallucinating, delusions. They're out of touch of reality. Those are called psychotic disorders, right? Substance-related disorder. Did you know that alcohol can actually give you a mental illness? There's alcohol-induced psychosis, or alcohol-induced depression. Cannabis, illicit drugs, those things can also happen. And now physical disorders, we talked about if you can have diabetes, you can also develop a mental illness, right? Are we all together? How much time do I have? You see, I told you. But anyway. Okay, we talked about symptoms already, right? Let's just go a bit on the workplace statistics. Depression and anxieties cost the global economy $1 trillion annually in loss of productivity. When someone is mentally ill, it doesn't only affect you as an individual, it affects the productivity at work. And if Selma is not able to work and she's booked off, guess who's going to do Selma's work? Philip, right? And Philip is now overwhelmed. He can't cope, right? Because now it's very stressful because he also got his own work to do. And now he's doing Maria's work. Now Philip gets booked off because he's now burnt out. And then now who does the work? Now remember, it's 2 people's work that's going on the third person. That third person also already has their work to do. So you can imagine how it actually affects everybody. It affects you at home as well, because you can't be the best to your children if you're a mom. You can't be a best to your spouse if you're married or in a relationship. Everybody else gets affected. And this is why community is important. Being each other's brother's keeper is important. When you notice a change in behavior, please go to the next in line for the person to get help, because you also are going to be affected, directly or indirectly. Okay, we talked about burnout. When you're unable to cope, please just go get help. Go get help, please. But don't become lazy and say that, no, I can only do 3 projects at once, because we need to build resilience and capacity. You cannot make excuses because you are used to only doing 3 projects and now you are given 5 and you think it's the end of the world. No, go seek help to find ways on how you can build and maybe manage. Maybe your problem is management. You don't know how to manage your time. You don't know how to do, or you don't know how to create boundaries. Ladies, sometimes you spend 3-4 hours on social media just watching people's lives, and then time is over and you're like, oh my goodness, I didn't even do my assignment, or I didn't do my work. Then you go and start blaming people, pointing fingers. It's because of this one. But sometimes it's important to do introspection. As you're pointing your finger to this person, know that there are 3 fingers pointing back at you. Nah? So please recognize your strengths and your potential and your weaknesses, but don't be so quick to always point fingers. Sometimes look at you. You spend 4 hours on social media. Is that normal? No. It's either you really don't have anything to do in your life, or you have something to do but you're just procrastinating. Psychologists can help you with that as well. We talked about this, the impact on mental health with all of these people. We talked about the employer, decreased productivity, and how this obviously absenteeism is happening, and then the economy as well. The community suffers as well. So what are the barriers to accessing mental health services? Ms. Kalimba rightfully said we only have 2 state mental hospitals in the country. It's sad, but I hope we're going to push to do something, because it's really sad. 3 million population, 35 years later, and only 2 hospitals. We need to do something about it. In private, there's only 1. I think maybe now 2, a new one, but they're limited. They do not accept people that are having aggressive behavior. So where will you go? Me with my medical aid, living in XYZ, driving XYZ car, should this mental illness catch me and I become aggressive, there's no hospital in Namibia, private, with my medical aid that will take me. Where will I go? State. Or, if you have the money, South Africa. But I don't know how you're going to travel all the way there. In plane, I don't know how. Maybe you're going to be sedated. I don't know. Driving, I don't know also which driver or which family member will be able to be with you for, I don't know how many, 7, 8 hours in that state. So you can already imagine, right? So please, let's just take care of ourselves. Stigma and discrimination is the one that's the biggest one, and this is what we're talking about when Ms. Kalimba even made an example. If someone discusses their mental health challenge, instead of you being your brother's keeper and finding information on how you can help this sister, she's sick, huh? She's not okay. Next person. Oh, she's going through a divorce. Oh, her child is diagnosed with a mental illness. Everybody in the office will know that everybody knows except for you. And this is why there's issues with trust. Because now we can't trust one another because you disclosed something that was very, very personal to someone that you trusted, but then now that person went to have verbal diarrhea and then the whole office knows. We have to do better. We need to do better, honestly. The question is, are you going to be someone that can take that secret to the grave? Or is the verbal diarrhea too much that you just have to go and speak? Because if that is happening, there's also a problem. Huh? It's true. There's a problem. If you can't keep secrets, or if you can't keep people's confidential information to yourself, check yourself. I slightly talked about this, how we can do in terms of having a mental health services. Yeah. So, you are what you think. What you think affects your mind, affects your emotions, and will see it in your behavior. Please take care of yourself. You have medical aid. There are a lot of psychologists available. You can literally just go on Google and just type the psychologist in Windhoek, and you'll find a psychologist. If it's a social problem, you'll find a social worker. They are available. You have the tools. You have the means. Please seek help. If your medical aid is depleted, come to us. We will not judge you. We will not throw you away. We are not going to be like, this is not a government worker. Why are they coming to us? Because we have patients actually that come to us. And it's free of charge. We don't charge you. What did the Nigerians say? Kobo. We don't charge you a kobo to come and seek mental health services at Central or Shakati Hospital. We don't at all. You come there as you are, money in your pocket. You see, and you see a doctor, a social worker, a psychologist, occupational therapy. Everybody gets there to see you, and you'll get the help that you need. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Dr. Sisheya, for enlightening us on the differences between mental health and mental illness, but also touching on psychosocial issues and challenges. Ladies and gentlemen, we were able to look deeper into psychosocial issues, the silent battles that many faces daily at workplace, and workplace pressures, financial struggles, grief, and burnout. And how lucky we are, right, as civil servants, to have one of the best medical aids in the world. That's SEMAS, ladies and gentlemen. It is a privilege, and we should really commend our government for, such a great initiative. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we were reminded to at all times, be our brothers' keepers. As we engage, I also want us to look as a ministry, how we can become more supportive and understanding to enable, or while enabling a workforce productivity, because a satisfied staff is a productive one. But we were also reminded to not make an excuse of not being able to deliver on what we are supposed to due to mental health. Now, ladies and gentlemen, the next session up is suicide awareness and prevention, and I am joined, or I have, in our midst, we have Ms. Mwaka Munyongana. She is a chief inspector and a social worker within the Ministry of Health and Social Services, and she is then going to present on suicide awareness and prevention. Please put your hands together for Chief Inspector Mwaka Munyongano.
Good morning, Honorable Minister, the AD. Allow me to stand here on the protocol that is already established. Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Thank you, ma'am. Let me ask all of us to stand up before I start. I don't know if the people at the back, you are able to see me. Can you kindly move this side? It's just a quick exercise that we are going to do. Everyone at the back, kindly move forward. Can we move? Everyone behind, kindly move forward. I need your attention. Okay, I'm going to put the mic aside. I believe my voice will be audible and everyone will be able to hear me. Just for this exercise, right? Okay, getting back to our serious program, was introduced by the Director of Ceremony. Yes, of course, my name is Mwaka Mnyongano, Chief Inspector by rank from Nampol, point of correction. I'm part of the team that is doing the awareness campaign, suicide and mental health. But I'm responsible for employee wellness in the Namibian Police Force, stationed at the Police National Headquarters. Thank you. To start, I'm going to take you through the suicide prevention, suicide risks. If I have to ask a question before my presentation, I'm at the right place, ne? This is information, right? And we are all informed, yeah? Well informed, I mean. Okay, can you share with me or all of us here, at what statistic are we today when we talk of suicide? What figures are we at today? Okay, for the weekend, let's hear. For the weekend, 5. From which areas? Okay, I know we can sing together, but when it comes to talking, we have to talk one-on-one. Can I have yes, ma'am? Okay, thank you for sharing, but I'm not satisfied with your answer. Okay, Can we hear from other colleagues? Thank you, ma'am, for your effort. Yes, we have 5 from which areas? I know we have 5, and all of them are from different regions. Which regions? Information, hello, come on. Don't put me down. Okay. Yes, there is a hand at the back. I hope you did not go to Google or Facebook. Okay. Two from Windhoek, Commerce region. Okay, thank you. I'll assist you. I'll go back with my present because I did not get the right answer for that. Suicide in Namibia is a concerned issue. And suicide on its own, where am I? Okay, suicide alone, we are saying we cannot declare it suicide. We have to bring the issue of mental health. We have to bring the issue of suicide, and we have to fight as a country. It's not only about the Ministry of Health alone. I believe every Namibian citizen, we have a role to play when it comes to mental health or mental illness or suicide. Are we together? This is what I'm going to do for you. We are going to talk about what is suicide and how do we know about suicide. Why do people die from suicide? Why do you think people die from suicide? So I'll also take you through the suicide risk factors. What are the risk factors? Why people commit suicide? Recognizing the warning signs. You know, before your beloved one commits suicide, you have seen the signs. This person raised a flag, but because of knowledge, or because of lack of knowledge, we might not have picked it. But these people, many times they will tell you, yes, this is what is happening. And we'll do how to support a person with a suicidal ideation. I'll assist you to understand all these aspects. Just to dive in our presentation, suicide, we are saying suicide is an intentional act. Everyone that committed suicide, remember, the person was willingly to do that act. Even if the person say, or the police comes on the scene and they say there was a suicide note, yes, we have what we call primary problem. We have what we call a secondary problem and a tertiary problem. The three, we put them together. Doctor addressed us on the issue of mental health. So your mental might have also contributed. It can be also regarded as a primary problem. The ones that says, yes, my boss was the reason that I committed suicide. You had already your mental health condition that everyone was not aware, because you yourself intentionally. Let's not forget, when they say the supervisor is behind the person's death, let's not forget the act that says intentionally. Are we together? It's the woman, the man willingly to commit suicide. And we are saying when a person commits suicide, they are at the state where they are not mentally well. Are we together? We have had the issue of depression. We have had the issue of mental illness. And all of us seated here, I believe we are aware that me and you, we have these mental disorders, and they just need something to trigger it. Normally we tell people, Eish, how do we call somebody who's mental ill in our own vernacular language? Just to bring all of us on board. In Oshiwambo, right? Okay, let's see. Ombwi? Ombwidi? It is a bad word. And us who are uttering that word, how would you feel if another person does it to yourself or to your beloved one? It's so painful, eh? It's so bad. So imagine you have your own mental illness and you just need something to trigger it. How would you feel if you find yourself in that state? Like doctor said, remember, mental illness does not discriminate. All of us, we might find ourselves suffering from mental illness, or we have already suffered from mental illness and we are unaware. So the purpose or the aim of us being here today, we are here to assist you to understand your situation before you seek for assistance. You know where you're supposed to be. You know either you have gone through that or you are still to see yourself there. And we are trying to prevent that. Even in our own houses, please take note. We always get the signal to say this person wants to commit suicide. The only thing that blocks us, we are not there for each other. Like doctor said, we are not each other's keeper. We are working in isolation. We hate each other so much. Let's be there for each other. Yes, none of us are perfect. I may step on your toe, but remember, what goes around turns around. Let's treat each other as human beings. One sister's keeper, one brother's keeper. Getting back to our presentation, we are saying, okay, suicide is an act that you can intentionally take your own life. Let's not blame others. Take care of yourself first before you blame the other person. And remember, for you to commit that act, mentally, you are finished. You are not yourself. They say when a child, it's proven by the scholars, different scholars. There is an article that I was reading from the University of Stellenbosch. And this professor wrote and said, for a person to commit commit suicide, this person might have suffered severe depression. And this is in the elder people. For a child, a young child, to commit suicide, basically, chances are high that this child was suffering from mental illness. Doctor, please bail me out before I misquote myself. Yes, thank you. So that's suicide, ne? Do you understand? So even if we say intentionally in the death notes, we say, yeah, this person left a death note, and it say it's my supervisor. Remember, it's intentionally. Coming to suicidal ideation, we are saying, many of us here, we might have came across that. There is a point when you felt, there is no way out for me. I just need to die. But you did not commit it. You were just thinking about it. So we are saying, you are here. And today we are reminding you and assisting you to understand that suicide, yes, you can have the ideation. Either one day, you might be successful. And we are saying the moment you reach this stage, please seek for professional help. Talk to somebody, a professional, and if the professionals are far from you, look for a sister's keeper. As long as this sister's keeper can keep you well, not mocking about your own circumstances or your situation. Yes, suicide attempt. Do we know anyone that tried to commit suicide? Okay, and what did we do when we had somebody wanted to commit suicide? We beat them, ne? Why are we beating them? Yes, we beat them. I'm asking this deliberately, and we are even encouraging them to say why you did not do it well. Huh? You are a human being, right? And you love yourself. You cannot say it to the other person that why you did not do it well if you love yourself. It means you don't love yourself. if you can go to such an extent of telling another human being that why you did not do it well, to take his own life or her own life. We are here to remind you, please, let's love ourselves before we love the next person, because by the time we do that, we'll be able to protect each other and be somebody's keeper. Thank you. Where am I? It was ideations, right? Now self-harm. Have we seen people cutting themselves here? Even young girls. Some of them, they are from our own homes. What did we do with those people? We beat them. Again, we beat them. It's the doctor giving me the answers, right? Because doctor she's dealing with those cases on day-to-day basis. And it's so painful. Remember I told you, or I shared with you, to say suicidal ideation or anyone that have committed suicide, they suffered from mental illness, which is depression. And for the youngest person, we cannot say they were depressed. It's straightforward mental illness. So why do we need to beat them? Be there and seek for professional help. People are cutting themselves here, and to them, they are saying they are enjoying. Here, it's not well. We need to be there for them. Self-harm, ne? Parasuicide. Yes. Are we getting that one? The person tried to harm and they attempted suicide, but the person has no desire to kill himself. Remember, all of us, at some point we went to touch the Panados and we said, I want to drink these Panados. And we did not do that. But every time you wish to do so, we are here also to remind you, hello, you are not far from it. One day you will be successful, and we don't want to say it to anybody that it will be successful. Please seek for professional help. We love you so much. That's why we are here. We have other things to do, but we said, we are going for mental and suicide campaign. Why do people die of suicide? We are saying suicide is 100% preventable. Me and you seated here, do we agree? Why do we agree? When we were encouraging them to say, why you did not do it well? We are saying many people consider suicide. At some point they feel incapable of fighting problems. Yes. You know, we are living a life that we can say, it's not my life. You are living your colleague's life. Because your colleague is driving. What is the latest car that is on demand? Gentlemen, a G-Wagon, eh? Everyone wants to, nowadays everyone wants to drive a G-Wagon. GD6. What else? Golf 7. Amarok. You mentioned them. Remember, you know where your financial is coming from. And remember, me and you, we are not the same. We are different. Please don't live a copy and paste life. Live your own life. Understand your means of income. Don't, sorry, Honorable. Don't look at our honorables because they are driving or they are at that level. Sorry, excuse me. And you also want to be at that level. Understand that it's levels. Know where you are, levels. Speak louder. Understand yourself, I'm here, and they are there. And maybe work hard to see yourself there. Live your own life and enjoy yourself. Remember, happiness is for free, and you can create it yourself. Yes, all of us here, we are struggling. All of us, even the people we admire day to day, that they are doing well, you don't know what they are going through in their private space. Okay, we are saying that we don't want to face the reality. We don't want to face the pain. Doctor gave the example of saying when you are in a relationship and the other person don't want to continue anymore with that relationship, and they say, okay, it's over. For men, where do you go when a woman say it's over? Yes, we all know the answer, right? And women, where do we go when a man say no more? Yes, she said it well, and she said, you will go back in that shell, ne? And you start breaking that shell. Eh? And it's you yourself breaking, it's not that shell, right? So doctor has reminded us to say, all of us, we have a way of coping when we find ourselves in a stressful situation that we cannot really come out. Men will go and look for chola. You will be the one clubbing. And when you are clubbing, you'll exhaust your funds. And when your funds are exhausted, where do you go? It's either you'll accuse your families that they are witching you, or your colleagues are witching you. Remember, it's not the end of it. You still have a life to live. Maybe the person who said no more, this relationship we have to terminate it, that person is not for you. You don't know you are saved from many things, because this person really could drag you into a pit. Look at it on a positive perspective. Don't look at it on a negative, like doctor said. Everything that you look at, a picture you look at, please don't look at it with a dark eye. Look at it with a light eye. And you manage whatever situation will come. You say, not me. If you want to try me, I'm out of those things. You will not put me down. Be confident, right? Hello, am I talking to myself? Thank you. Okay. Yes, I know some of us, we are coming from different backgrounds where we lost our parents at a younger age, and we have stress that we brought from childhood, prolonged life problems. In school, primary, when you started, maybe you saw other kids were being picked by their parents, or other kids were taken to best school. Back home, when it comes to house chores, it's only you to do everything in the house when their kids are sleeping, enjoying. Yes, if you can't cope with these prolonged problems, please, we are here to encourage you and say, talk about it. It might have already reached the state of mind. Your mental health is already triggered, and slowly but sure, you need to think about it. Are we together? All of us, we know, no one, in my time, if I have to take you back, going to school, it was walking barefoot to school. And here I am today. I did not die. I know how to take care of myself. From here, I would like to challenge everybody. End of this year, please book yourself and go for a retreat. Either you do it in a team or a single person, you need to do self-care. Take care of yourself. Whatever happened in the past, it has happened. Find peace with it and move on. Often reasons why people don't express. Do we understand why people don't express themselves? Do we? What is the reason? Trust issues, very true. Yes, because the moment I come to you and confide with you, my boyfriend beat me last night. Oh, I did not sleep, we had a quarrel. Before I finish, it's already on the WhatsApp group. Trust issues. When are we going to be our sister's keeper or our brother's keeper? People are dying in silence. and the only thing they can see is suicide. People have committed suicide because we felt them to express themselves. And what did they do? The only thing they could see, it was suicide. So we are here to say, please, you must not be the reason. You know, when we say must, we are not being apologetic about it. We are saying you have to do it, either like it or not. Me and you, we need to be there for each other. Confidentiality, very important. I know this one, it's taking all of us away. It's a serious issue. But if you go to doctor, you go to the psychologist, the social worker, they will die with your secrets. They will not go out. Yes, I know we are human beings. Maybe you have an experience where you went to a social worker and your things, before you left, you had them in the street. Remember, before you go to the social worker, don't go and share your things in the corridor. So that when things come out, you say it's the social worker, it's the doctor. Yeah? Do we have a timekeeper? Please stop me when it's my time to stop. Thank you. Okay, yes, suicide risk factors. We said these are the risks for people to commit suicide. And we are saying mental illness. Remember, all of us at times when we are stressed, we always say, I'm depressed, I'm depressed. It's so nice when we are saying we are depressed, ne? Did we ever say, go to our supervisor, my supervisor, I'm going through depression. I want to go see my psychiatrist doctor. Do we do that? Why? Why are we not doing that? Remember, your head is not separated from your body, ne? And for you to look beautiful this morning, for you to look handsome this morning, it's because of your head. You have heard Dr. said it earlier. We don't need to be apologetic for our own health. Why are you afraid to face it? Be proud. If you are going to see a psychologist, stand up. Why are we so comfortable to stand up and say, I'm going to see my GP? But when it comes to mental health issues, we want to hide under the carpet. Come out, be free. It's your own life. We don't want the beans to be spilled in the road. Everyone is aware of your situation. Do it when you still can. It's so sad when people will be holding you. We have attended to cases where people go to an extent of eating their own popo because things were allowed to get out of hand. Please take care of yourself. Yes. We have seen many ladies in our own community. Even this morning when I was driving to work, I saw a woman walking naked. And I said, where is the family of these people? It's us, our own family. We are deserting them. It starts with me before I assist anybody there. If I don't have love, I will not do it. Because an empty cup will not fill another cup. Are we together? Yes, we are saying it's mental, these are the risks, ne? Mental illness, traumatic stress. The trauma, me and you, we have suffered from our traumas, from childhood to where we are today. And these traumas are risks to suicide. Chances are high that if you did not deal with your traumas accordingly, they may result in you to commit suicide. So it's very important. If you are sitting here with an issue that happened 30 years ago, and at times it comes back and trigger, please take care of that. It's risks to suicide, hopelessness. Yes, sometimes you see yourself, you have got nowhere to go. There are some times when you are drowning and passerby will not see it. You have finished your money because this person said the relationship has to be terminated. And you see yourself clubbing the whole night, no bathing. You come to the office the next morning, colleagues are mocking on you, going behind your back. We are saying don't lose hope. Even when you don't have much, Don't lose hope. Seek for professional help. Are we together? Yes, divorce, separation, breakup, relationship can also be risks to suicide. People have committed suicide because of this. So we are saying take care of one another. Divorce can also result into depression, and depression cannot be separated from mental illness. Death of a spouse, yes. Can we hear from all of us that are seated here? What is the approved mourning period? Yes. Okay, she said 12 months. 3 months. Doctor, I want you to emphasize on that issue. Allow me to put you on the spot. Yes, in your culture, in my culture, remember, we are all having a background and find ourselves in this profession. We learned that the mourning period is 2 years. The death of the spouse, that's where we... The right period for you to mourn your beloved ones, we are saying it's 2 years. When it's beyond the 2 years, you are not mourning your beloved one. You are mourning yourself. Do you understand? This is where you see yourself. You cannot take a bath. You cannot change. You can sit in one position for years and years. Schizophrenia can come in. You will not want to see anything good. For you, everything is negative. So we are saying mourn, yes. We have to mourn our beloved ones, which is a good thing. However, remember, you still have a life to live. You need to get out of that stage. And if you go beyond the 2 years, you'll be in the mental health center, and chances are high for you to stay there for 42 days to recover. Are we together? It's me and you. People that you have seen mourning for more than that, if you look at the way they walk, the way they sit, their appearance, it's not coming. Are we together? Thank you. Suicide risks continue. Yes, we are talking of religion, spiritual beliefs. Yes, it's for me, it's the highest, when we talk of religion. I know Namibia, we are saying we are how many percent Christian? 99. However, we are saying, please, don't allow yourself. Hello, my colleague was presenting the other day at the Ministry of Urban. And she went on saying, let me share what she did that day. She came and she said, hallelujah. Where are we? Religion, spiritual belief. Yes, women of God, man of God. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. The demon is following you. Can I prophesy? Yes. The demon is following you. Yes, today. Yes, before we come to the rebuke part, I want you to get rid of everything out of your house. Because these things are possessed by the demon. Are we aware of such issues? However, I'm saying, yes, me and you, we are Christians. We need to be very careful. We need to be very careful and challenge our Christianity. If you are told to get rid of your furnitures and take them to the dumping site, do you think that issue is authentic? Yes, we are believers, we are Christians, but challenge your Christianity. Let's do the right thing. Are we together? If you take your things to the dumping site, your kids will start sleeping on the floor. In the house, there is no fridge, there is no TV. What will happen to you as a human being? You are adding demons that you had from your prophet on top of the stress that you have, and your kids will be suffering. Problems will be more. And in other words, we will say, you as a parent, you are failing. Traumatizing, exactly. Thank you, Honorable. You are torturing these kids, and we'll come in and say, this is child abuse, because these kids will not perform at school. There is nothing to eat in the house. The whole salary. Unemployment of, yes, that one I can't talk. Allow me to skip it, right? We know what is happening. It can also, it's a suicide risk factor. Being victimized. You know, we say Namibia is a democratic country, and we have to be there. However, there is an issue of 50-50. Please don't abuse the issue of 50-50. First of all, understand where you are. We like saying, I'm being victimized. What did you do to be victimized? We are very good at pointing. And when we are pointing, where are the rest of fingers pointing? Even us, subordinates, we also victimize our supervisors. So it's a two-way. Let's be on a amicable space, the right space, conducive environment at the right time, and talk our issues with due respect and be there for each other. Yes, stepping on each other's toe, it will be there, because this is where you spend your third quarter of your life, at workplace.
Then we'll continue. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, there is a slight change on our program. Please arise while our minister and senior management sits. We just quickly need to take a group photo. She needs to quickly attend to equally important business. May we please rise? Okay, and everybody else, please move closer. Can we just move closer to the front? Let's move swiftly. The minister has to go now. Who's supposed to sit here? That the friends? Please occupy this chair. Mic check. Thank you, Honorable Minister. You are excused. Now we continue business as usual. Let's please settle down. We will continue off where we left off with Ms. Munyangano.
Thank you. Shall we continue? Okay. We were being victimized, legal problems. We are saying legal problems can affect any of us, either indirect or direct. However, we are saying some people committed suicide because of legal actions against them. So we need to take note. If we have a child in the house, remember the issue of drugs is affecting our nation. And we are saying in Namibia, every household, there is a child, there is a person, a human being consuming alcohol. And every corner of a street, it's either there is a house selling alcohol. And it starts from there. So we need to refrain ourselves from this type of actions. Alcohol, yes, drugs are all over. In the past, we know Namibia, it was a transit, but this time around, Namibia is consumer of drugs and alcohol. Am I accusing Namibia? It's a serious issue, alcohol. Because when we have our issues, we cannot face our issues. What do? We go and hide in alcohol. Let's face our issues. Life is so nice. Are we together? Genetic predisposition. We have had doctor touch that part. Yes, we are suffering from the biological makeup. It can also be a risk factor. Because in your family, you have a grandmother who suffered from mental illness, and you might be a victim of that. We are not saying you will be a victim, we are just sharing. However, this is the fact. When it comes to suicide, people are committing suicide. Have you heard people saying, in that family, they only die from suicide? Yes, it's this part. Physical illness, especially chronic or terminal illnesses or diseases. We have heard of cancer. We have heard of HIV. We have heard of many diseases. Some people jumped in their car because they could not take it when they were told, you are HIV positive. And all what they could do, it was to take their life away. Either you jump in your car, you go and hit a bridge so that they will say it's accident. And what is behind your intention? So there are so many things that can push people to commit suicide, and illnesses, terminal illnesses is part of it. Sudden change in behavior. These are the warning signs, right? In your office, your supervisor knew very well that when you are given a task to do, before lunch, you will give feedback to your supervisor. In our days, when you are given a task, it takes a month for you to finish that task. Are you aware it's a warning sign? And what do we do when that person change? Is no more a good person who used to meet her deadlines or his deadline. What do? We start calling that person with names, right? And you start victimizing that person. We are saying, please go deeper and find out what is really happening, what has happened to this person's life. It's a warning sign, and chances are high for this person to commit suicide. And we are saying, warnings, we have seen them. This is the person who will not leave her own place without wearing makeup. But in our days, it's no more a priority. This person, he was so vibe, vuma, talkative, and when you have meetings, this person will really give a fruitful contribution. But nowadays, the person is no longer attending meetings, not coming for events. The person is on her own. What are we saying? We did not see the signs. We are aware. These are the signs we are talking when we say people commit suicide, and we have seen, and we go to an extent. Oh, yeah, it's true, man. I wish. Let's not wish, but be there, react. Or be proactive. Let's not be reactive. Yes, I think I have said everything here. They change all the things I have said, withdrawal from social settings, feelings hopeless or despair, talking about wanting to die, yes. Extreme mood swings, yes. They don't want to mingle with anyone. They are in their own world. And these are signs. We need to be there for each other. The increased substance abuse, yes, maybe you used to drink responsibly. And we are saying, people will ask, you might ask, what is the responsible drinking? We are saying responsible drinking, it's when you take 340 ml of beer times 3, and it should be per week. That's responsible drinking. Yes, you see the 340 ml times 3 per week for men. Get me right. For men. And for ladies, we are saying it's only that 340 ml per week times 1. For women, I know there are those of us who can challenge men when it comes to drinking, right? And you might even attack me. Why only 1? Why men 3? Understand that your biological makeup plays a role when it comes to alcohol consumption. Are we together? Don't compare yourself with a man. Eh? For them, they have a lot of water. You need a lot of water. How to support the person with suicidal behavior? Yes, we are saying listen to them without judging them. We like judging, right? Excuse me. We like judging. When a person comes to you and tell you, I want to commit suicide, what will you do? Go ahead. Or some people will show you the tree. Or some people will give you a rope to assist you. Or you say, when a man commits suicide, what do you say? He's a coward, eh? Is it so? Please don't judge anybody, eh? It's not a judgment day. Wait for the judgment day if it's coming. Be there as a sister, brother's keeper. Don't judge anybody. These issues are serious, and all of us, we can find ourselves there. I'm sorry we will not find ourselves there. Eh? Encourage seeking help, and yes, when you see somebody coming to you, don't judge them. However, encourage them to seek for professional help, assistance. Eh? You don't need to say anything if you don't know what to say. And remember, you are not trained maybe in that area. All what you need is to be there, watch the person, support them wherever you can. Don't say anything. Don't tell them your kids miss you. The kids, they need you. To them, those things, it's not an issue. Be there and support them. Where to find help? We are saying happiness is for free, ne? Happiness is for free. It's for you to choose anger. It's for you, you know, doctor said it here. If most of the time, people don't see your teeth. Every time is you like, do you know what you are doing to yourself? You are shutting down your system. Allow your system to flow. Allow the blood to flow. Allow the brain to have air. You are so beautiful. And for you to be like, show your smile. They don't love me. Who cares? Love yourself. Move on. Walk tall. Chest out. Tummy in. Okay, we are saying if you find yourself in all those things that Ms. Kalimba spoke to us, the doctor spoke to us, and what I presented now, we are saying, please, the Minister of Health is open anytime. Even at the end of the session, doctor is here with you. If you want to talk in private with doctor, approach her. She's approachable. Talk to her. Seek for help. Don't die in silence. Break the silence. Ministry of Health is open 24 hours. If you have a family member suffering, and our clinics are open all over countrywide, and they will know where to refer you. These are the numbers. We have Lifeline Child Line, toll-free number. Flippy Trust, Namibia. Okangari. Okangari, I have heard people saying, there is no need of going to Okangari. That person has been there for so many times. Hello, what did you do when that person came back from Okangari? Is it not you who was mocking the person? Okangwali is a rehabilitation center outside Chuarongo, where people, it doesn't matter either you have a drinking problem, you have a marital problem, your own self problem, you can book yourself and find peace. Be rejuvenated. The rehab is there. Medical aid can pay for you. You don't need to pay a single cent. Make use of your medical aid. Because if you don't make use such benefit, other people are benefiting and yours will go back. Make use of it, it's needed. Even to go there, just to relax and rest, because your mind is running concurrently. Even when you are sleeping, your mind is going on. You need to rest and listen to yourself. Some of you have never taken leave. For 30 years, you are just in the office. You need to take a leave. Are we together? So we are saying Okangwari is there and the other main rehabilitation center. Itagameno is just here. Our former Brackwater, yes, it's there. It's also for free. This one is for free. All what you need to do is to see the social workers. They will assist you, the psychologists will assist you to see yourself there. Social workers, yes, clinical psychologists, doctors, nurses, psychiatrists, they will be there to assist you to address your issues. In conclusion, we are saying this is your takeaway today when going home. We are saying you are not powerless. You have ability to save a life. I believe it's a typing error there. It was supposed to be to save lives. Yes, bear with us. And let's end suicide and start. Remember, suicide starts with you. I thank you.
Thank you, Chief Inspector Munyungana, for that very enlightening presentation. Indeed, the first step towards prevention is breaking the silence, right? Let's speak up, find somebody to confide into, and do not die in silence, ladies and gentlemen. Silence can be really detrimental. Now, last on our program this morning, I will welcome back on stage Ms. Kalimba to touch on stress management and self-care. And while she's walking up on stage, I just wanted to place more emphasis on how we cannot pour from an empty cup, and how we need to fill our cups first before we can pour from there. Ladies and gentlemen, and we are encouraged to continue being each other's keeper and not allowing our colleagues to despair. Ms. Kalimba, the floor is yours. Once again, welcome. A round of applause for her, ladies and gentlemen.
I want to call Ms. Munyongano again so that she can make people awake. Because you are sleeping, I don't know whether it's because of the sun or... Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Ms. Kalimba. Can we kindly stand up again? For now, I want all of us, please make sure there is nothing on your chair and be in front of your chair. Make sure there is nothing. Can you hear me? At the back, are we together? Okay, there should be nothing on your chair. And we are going to move very fast. It's two things. What I'm going to do with you is, when I say money, you sit down. When I say money, you sit down. When I say suicide, you remain standing. Is the instruction correct? Okay, shall we start? Doc and Ms. Kalimba, can you be my eye? Okay. I see a lot of empty chairs here. Can we fill up those chairs? Okay, I'm going to say money. I'm going to say money, and when I say money, you sit down. And when I say suicide, you stand up. Okay, I'm not going to look at you, ne? Money? 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 If you miss it, you're out. You come this side. Eh? Whoever misses, you come this side. Okay? Suicide? Money? Suicide? Money? Suicide? Money? Money? Okay, we'll do the last one, eh? We'll do the last one. Okay, money? Okay, money, suicide, suicide. Suicide, money, suicide, suicide. Okay, thank you very much. You may be seated.
Good. Thank you so much. You know, I like clarity. Okay? Ladies and gentlemen, if there's somebody who is seated in the sun, there's about 5 chairs here in front. Can you please come here? Good, okay? clarity, the signs and symptoms of mental illnesses. If somebody is starting with depression or any other diseases with mentally connected, we wait up to 2 weeks. The person comes today and then they bang the doors and what, and they insulting people. You must give them two weeks. Yeah? If it is after 2 weeks and they're still going to do the same, then they are mentally sick. But sometimes it's just emotions which are very upset. Yes. And then also, there's something in Namibia that in Namibia, people don't like to explain something which they don't understand. For example, mental illnesses. Everyone who is mentally sick, even if it's a schizophrenia, which is the most highest order of diseases, the people will say they are bewitched, okay? So even if you are we have seen many people coming to hospital, take their beloved ones, take them to the witch doctors, ne? If you are taking your person to witch doctors, we will not stop you. But keep on giving the medications. Ne? Even if you are taking this person to church, they must go with their medications. Are we together? Yes. Because, you know, it is devastating. It is a desperation activity or act which it comes to you. Whenever it is now, I'm talking it as a concept now, but whenever it comes to you, I'm telling you now, it's something which is very not good, okay? And keep the person having their medications, ne? Because every attack, every episode is higher than the one which you had before. If the person is getting episodes now, okay? If you start 2025, it's maybe a little bit lesser. And then something happens again, sometimes in future. That one will be higher than this one which you started with. I just want to inform you about that. Okay, stress management and practical self-care strategies. Okay, we are just going to discuss about effective approaches so that you can have things which you can, so that we can manage well at your workplace. At our houses, we are with our mother's children, with our father's children, with families, blended because we have chosen those ones, okay? No, we have not chosen those ones. They arrived on their own. Everybody arrived. But at workplace, now we have got people who are higher than you and, okay? And then most of the time, like Ms. Munyongano said, that we like also victimizing our bosses, ne? And then we are going to see it, and we are going to discuss, okay. So, the key topics here is just to understand the stress in the workplace, effective management, techniques which we can use, practical self-care, how to use and leverage on organizational resources which are already available, and then the long-term strategies for yourself. Yeah. So here we are only on ourselves. Okay? I cannot see any. It's only there. Okay. Common causes of stress among employees are workload pressures. Do we have workload? Okay. Do we know what is stress? It's not in black languages, ne? Yeah, what is stress? That word is not in black language. But do we understand? Okay. Is there somebody who has never experienced stress in their lives? Please show by hand. Oh, okay. It's when your thoughts are overwhelming. And ethindakano yo madiradiro there is high pressure of thoughts. We know the blood pressure, ne? Yeah, there's also pressure for thoughts. And then that is now stress. Okay, these are the common causes. The workload pressure, heavy workloads, but increasing time demand and reducing breaks. No one cares if we are going to say, okay, let's go and work and do this because we have got a deadline to finish, and then I will give you your time back, or I will pay you. Fair, ne? Is it fair? Is it fair? Yeah, okay. So whenever you have got a demanding time, you must also have breaks. Because your mind is pressed, then you need time. Okay? A break, time to break, and then relax a bit. The bureaucratic challenges, too many red types and complex regulations. You know, I know that you cannot control people, the bosses now. You cannot control people, you need to manage them through policies. Today you come up with this policy because people are coming late every day. Come up with this policy, and then you bring everybody in the boardroom and you are telling them this. And then tomorrow, people are stealing, then you come up with another policy because people are stealing, and then, you see, it's too many. So don't put too much. So have meetings and then let the people talk. They will tell you everything. Okay? The balancing responsibilities, too much multitasking. Hey. Ladies, they are so, they got cum laudes in this. Because they can do everything. I'm speaking here now, but I can also think, what can I cook for tonight? Because my husband is a vegan, and and then, but my son is, we are doing everything. And then when I'm driving from here, I will not take this route because I will take, and then this madam seems to understand everything. You see, everything. So we must also reduce on that deliberately. You can only do it deliberately. Ne? Thinking that I'm not going to do that. Okay. How do we recognize that this person now has got stress? Is when the emotional symptoms are coming up, showing up. Just Miss Amunyela, every time she's a cool guy, she's a cool lady, ne? Cool. All of a sudden, I said, oh, Miss Amunyela, I want to have, can I please come late tomorrow because I need to go and but always I was emotions. Can I control her? Yeah. But I will not answer her now, but tomorrow, if she's happy with me, then I will talk about it. And then I say, oh, Miss Amunyela, today you are it seems today is very good. What happened yesterday? Why? Because sometimes we are unaware. Yes. No, because yesterday I just asked you this, and then already. But now, if it is going on for 2 weeks, then there's a problem. You got it now? Yes, if it is going on. Okay, the thinking, the cognitive symptoms, the person will not think properly. She was already shouting at me, and then she forgot a meeting. But she's the one who does not forget meetings at all. So her thinking is not. And then the concentration, difficult in focusing on tasks. Okay. The physical signs include fatigue, headache, and then now you must know that it's becoming chronic now. If you are having a continuous headache, you must go and see your psychologist. I wish I had shared it with one of the psychologists so that I can, because we are saying psychologist, but please, there is too many private psychologists, and then
the people said, okay, each one of us needs a psychologist. Ne? Yeah. Even the psychologists go to the other psychologists because we work with them every time. Yeah? Okay, importance of early recognition. You must identify stress early so that you can start with your self-care. When you are doing your self-care, what do we do for self-care? Oh, wow. If the budget is, or is it the children who are working on your, if you have got on your body, low cost. Okay, that is a high cost. At low cost, we must do both, ne? Yeah. Okay. If you have got small children, they can walk on your body. Yes, and then they do like this. Yes, and then what else? The massages, which if you can afford, and then what else? Spa. Okay, we are talking. A trip. That one I like it because nowadays I think I've seen it. I think it's the Switzerland doctors who have started prescribing, recommending vacation. Yes. Okay, go on leave, ma'am. Yes. And then maybe you go to the farm, if you have got one, or you go to your mother's house, go to your sister's house, going from 7 up to 7, but you must just book, ne? And then also, if you have got children and you said, I've got small children, I cannot go, what can you do? These children, you were not alone on that bed, ne? There were two, you were two, where is the other part? So, that person must also take care and say, okay, I'm going to my mother's house, take your children. There is your children. One, maybe every month you must do something like that. Yeah. So we must take care of ourselves so that we can avoid, these are the preventions, ne? We don't want you to go to Dr. De Almeida. Dr. Shisea. She's my daughter, and you know? Yeah. Yes. So, please, preventions. Those are the things which we must do. And then, you know, they look like they are simple, but we neglect them. And what do you do is when you do it every day, consistently and deliberately. So you did not go to your sister's house or to your brother's house or to your mother's house, your father's house in a month. You must do it every month. Whole day. Maybe when you pay, so that you can, they can also welcome you every time. Yeah. If they have money, then you must just, yeah. What is the impact if we are not preventing these things? How can they impact our work and job performance and well-being of us? It will reduce productivity, it will increase errors at work, and then it will also bring physical health consequences which will live with us. Do you know that emotions alone can bring you cancer? If you like nagging, yes, you don't like nag. You don't nag. You don't, if you are having an abusive person staying with you, don't be just, how do you say that word? There's a word which you can, sulking. You must not sulk or nagging too much. Yeah. You will need to have, to create benefits of stress management. And then we will have a better workforce. Okay? Another thing is that we need to manage our times very well. I don't know about you. I don't go with work at home. I don't. Yeah. I'm a trainer. I use my time very well. Yes. And nobody must put me under pressure Otherwise, I will behave like my patients. My role models, I can behave like that. Even the tate knows that he cannot do that to me because I abuse me, because I will behave like my patients. And it will come out, yes? Yeah. Okay. You organize your tasks very well, create a clear workflow, you prioritize your responsibilities, ensure that the important tasks are completed first and that one will minimize stress. You know, there's that book which says, eat that frog. You must eat the big frogs first, ne? Don't start with a small tadpoles going to the big frog. No, you must first start with a big frog and then go to the tadpoles. Yes. And if you are a manager, if you are working, doing something which everybody in your workforce can do, then you are operating. And you are not supposed to operate, you need to execute. Ne? Why do you need to do things which everybody in your company can do or in your ministry can do? You need to look forward. And we are complaining about unemployment. Unemployment will be created by the people who are working. If we are all work, the cameraman, I don't know whether he's recording me or not, but, huh? Why do you want to work with my mental now? To test my mental. Okay, but you know, we are all government employees, ne? We come at, what time do I arrive? Yeah, 6:30. Those who do that, okay? Now, you start with your coffee, you start with your what. The time is going and you've got a big frog to catch. Why can you not start with your big frog? Start with your big frog, okay? Reduce overwhelming, because if you manage your time very well, you are not going to be overwhelmed. So start with your, with your big frogs. Okay, there are some mindful relaxations. Who can tell me one? And the one which you do? Pardon? A beer. Yes, that's what we do. Quick nap. Some people, they sleep when they are stressed. Some people, they don't sleep. Some people don't sleep when they are stressed. For me, if I'm stressed, I will sleep the whole day. When I wake up, I forgot. I was angry, but who did something to me? That is, yes. Okay, the deep breath. Who knows how to do the deep breathing? Who knows? I know someone knows. Apart from Ms. Munyungano and Doctor, who knows? Oh, yes, thank you. Ma'am, can you please come here to assist me? Yes. Thank you so much. Do you do it? Yeah. Whenever she's going to give us a very nice thing. Okay. Do you do 4, 7, or 7? What? How do you count?
I don't count. I just hold my breath. I breathe in, hold my breath until I feel calm. Thank you. Okay. So I would usually take a deep breath, hold my breath, and then I breathe out. I do that until I feel calmer. Yeah.
Oh, thank you. Can we all do it? Yeah. Can we do it? Okay. Yeah. And then you count 4. Ne? You count 4, 4, 4. 4, breathe in. 4, you hold. 4, you out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Who's gonna do it with me? All right.
With your nose.
Okay. So we're gonna breathe in with our nose.
Everybody relax.
Right. So we're gonna inhale through our nose.
And I'm going to count.
Thank you.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah, through the mouth, right? Yes, through the mouth. Through the nose.
You hold for 4 seconds, and then you breathe out. 4 again. Yes, 4, 4, 4.
Yes. Are we doing it
Again?
again? Oh, okay. One more time. Something like
When you
that.
are breathing out, you can either say, or you can say 4 times. Yeah. For example, when you are running and you are tired, you can do that. And then, or you are stressed. But do not, there is a big no where you cannot do it when you are driving. Because it can put you in a different karma, and you cannot calming, and then you cannot, you lose control of the car. Do not do it when you are driving, please. When can you not do it? Yes. When somebody is driving you, it is fine. But when you yourself, you are holding that steering wheel, do not do it. You can come off. You can come off if you are going for a big meeting. When you arrive, you can do that. In the meeting, you can do that. Yes. But whenever you are stressed, you will forget and see. Yes? Pardon? Oh, okay. When you will not, sometimes you can even forget. Why was I stressed? Yeah, because of what, and what. But you will forget. If you do it deliberately every day. Deliberately. Good. Okay, that is a deep stress reduction benefits. Regular exercises. It will lessen the stress. Okay, you must also, we must set realistic boundaries and expectations. Clear your work limit and communicate expectations. Ladies and gentlemen, sometimes you are going through a rough time, but you want your boss or your colleagues to sniff and see that you are going through maybe your parents are diagnosed with something, or you yourself, or your child is sick. Your child is sick, maybe you can, yeah. So whatever changes do you experience in your life, go to your boss and say, boss, do you know what? My brother was diagnosed with something, and then I'm going to be helping him with what. Or it is just in my mind, and it will, for these 2 weeks, can you please excuse me if I'm not doing things very well? Yes. Do they agree? Yes. The bosses will agree if you let them know. Or my parents are sick, and from now on they are going for chemo, and I'm going to be taking them every month or every week. It depends on. And then, but we are alternating with my siblings. And then, but I just want to let you know, this is what I'm going through. Yes, Doc?
It's a need that was never communicated. So now, like the example she gave, that maybe a family member of yours is going through chemo and you're the only person that's able to help them, and you need to maybe help them or go with them to the doctor maybe from 3 to 4 o'clock every day, or maybe once or twice a week, for example, right? But now you never communicated that information, and then you go to your supervisor to excuse you because you want to go somewhere. And now they don't excuse you, and then now where do you become angry? You shift your energy. These people are bad, they don't even understand me. How will they understand something they never got? They never had that information. And I understand we're in a culture where we don't trust people, or we don't want to talk about our personal things, but we are human beings, and everybody has a need. So if you let whoever is your next in line to know what's going on. You don't necessarily have to go through everything, but just give them an understanding that, look, this is what I'm going through. I would really appreciate your support. And I really would like to believe that nobody will say no to that. Right? And I think Ms. Kalimba even mentioned in the beginning when she started, when she said we were so intrigued, excited when we were at the Ministry of Rural and Urban Development, Ministry of Urban and Rural Development, when there was actually a colleague that actually said that he actually suffered from a mental illness, and his supervisors have really been supporting him with his diagnosis, where they allow him to go for his follow-ups and so forth. And we were just like, that's great, because he came out. So if we are having one challenge or another, please speak to them. And if you feel that they are not a safe space or whatever, you guys need to speak about it. Because we cannot suffer when we actually have the needs. Now, for example, you need to go and see somebody or your doctor at 12 o'clock, and that's the only appointment you have, but they don't allow you. Speak to them about them. Let them understand that you have a need that you need to go to. I hope we are all together with this, and we understand why it's important to disclose certain information for you to get the necessary help that you need.
Thank you. Yes. But are we allowed to ask questions? Okay. Yeah. And you know, with the ministries now being allocated wellness officers, we must put our wellness officers to task. Because they need to entertain us, they need to do everything. If the ladies want something on pap smears, they can invite anybody. They can invite anyone from the ministry. And then they come, either a doctor or anybody who knows. And then they come and present to you. So, yes, whatever you don't know, even on the mental issues, maybe you want to know what is the depression, how come it's what. We will not make you doctors and nurses in one day, and diagnose people, but you must not now go in, but it's just for yourself, and then because we want everyone to have a free mind, to understand, and not to have issues which you are dealing yourself here, and then when you come to work, these symptoms are manifesting, and then you become a problem to everyone. So we want people really to understand their health. Yeah. And so if you communicate your expectations to your colleagues and what, and then your boss maybe will ask you, okay, do you want me to share with your colleagues sometimes? You will say yes or not at the moment. And then it's not you who's going to talk. It's about your boss will just make it a summarize, okay? Guys, our thoughts are with Miss Martha, because she's going through a private issue. Please lend her your ears and also your shoulders, support her. So those are the things which your boss maybe will, yeah. Okay, this will prevent a burnout. Do you know burnout? Do you know what is a burnout? Yeah. Good. Yeah? Yeah, we're going to. Okay, the practical self-care tips for daily resilience. Regular exercise. Do we exercise? Yes. Oh, wow, yes. I can see fitness here. Okay, balanced nutrition. Oh, is it a fat cook? Eat a fat cook. Porridge and meat, a bad combination, because it's a carbohydrates and with a protein. Very wrong. How do we, okay? The pyramid, you must check, you must Google the pyramid of the food for the officers. Because you guys, you don't go and dig trenches, You sit down on the computers. And when you are seated, even your tummy is just relaxing, sleeping. Now you are eating the same food as the person who's digging the trench. Yeah, so you must Google the pyramid food for officers because you sit down. Continue watching. Oh, what is it? I don't know what is happening. Yeah, but what else? Okay, we must control what we can control. Things which we cannot control, we must not even dwell with it. Nay. Do we, whatever, we must stay in our lane. We must not, whatever is fitting me does not fit my sister, even if we have from one womb. Yeah, it does not. So yeah, I don't know. Maybe you switched off. Yeah, but I was about to conclude. Yeah. The sleep. Okay, the sleep. You have got 24 hours in a day. 8 hours to work, 8 hours to sleep, and 8 hours to do other things. To work, sleep, and 8 hours for other things. So if you are not doing that, you are not balancing. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Kalimba, for that very insightful presentation. And once again, a gentle reminder there is just that let's practice the golden rule. Do unto others what you want done unto yourself, and vice versa. What you do not want done unto yourself, do not do unto others. Right, we are almost there, ladies and gentlemen. Now, what a jam-packed morning we had, right? Full of activities. We've learned so much from these sessions of this morning. Now, as we near the end of our Ministerial Mental Health Day commemoration, I'd like us all to reflect on the different topics that we discussed this morning, and we engage openly. No question is too small when it comes to wellness, especially that of the mind. Ladies and gentlemen, this segment I have reserved about 5 minutes for questions. Yes, 5. We are way behind time, and we've reserved 5 minutes, maybe 7 if more, but the floor is open for questions. Let's reflect on what we have discussed here this morning. Okay, we have a question there.
Thank you for the very insightful presentations. Mine is just maybe something that I've picked up and for improvement generally in the public service, that you can see that the world is evolving and so is our workspaces and what is expected of us. But I'm just wondering whether from the policy perspective or the laws and rules that governs the situations, or a day that I can only come in from 10 o'clock without having to explain myself that much. Yeah, that's basically what I would like to propose.
All right. This question, who do we post it to? I think, Edie, are you in position to respond to this?
It is a comment, and if...
Oh, it's a comment. Yeah. All right, indeed, it's really important because we've moved from the dynamics, right? From where we were then when these policies were, crafted or drafted to where we are now at the moment. Emmy, that is a notable comment. Any more questions from the floor?
Depending on...
Is the mic floating somewhere there?
Hello? Is it on?
Okay. Now I just want to confirm something quickly, and then if she can give me the answer, then it's not necessary.
Okay, while the colleagues are confirming there.
Okay, no, thank you. I got the answer.
All
Thank
right,
you.
thank you. Any more questions from the floor?
Thank you very much. Mine is not really a question, but just to comment the presenters, and also just to say that we have a program called the National Pride Program, and under it we are running a number of campaigns. And one of the campaigns that is stressing us is the campaign on national symbols. Now, I don't want this issue to become a mental health issue, but it's frustrating that in government offices, we have presented to EDs, we have engaged a lot of stakeholders, but most public servants still get it wrong when it comes to the National Coat of Arms. So I just want to appeal to the presenters that in the future, you can go to MICT website. There is a tab on national symbols where you can download the correct National Coat of Arms. So thank you for that.
Talking about integration, right?
Mine is really just to find out from the presenters. I mean, the cases are very high. Colleagues. I really just wanted the presenters to share what the success rates have been from their interventions. Yes.
The question is the success rate. She wants to find out from the presenters. I believe that is Doctor and I think Chief Inspector, what the success rate has been for these interventions.
Thank you very much. I actually had the other two of my questions are already addressed by Ms. Flo, and the flexibility of the working hours by another colleague. I think it was Emerencia. In addition to Ms. Flo's question on high cases, and I've seen according to the presentation that was just given, we have very few rehabilitation centers. So how are you dealing with all these many cases and actually, you know, referring people to rehabilitation centers if we only have three, or one, or Kongwati? Exactly. So we only have one free one. That one can also, you know, use their medical aid, but then the rest are private, and with the private sector you pay, you like pay a leg and a foot. So how are you dealing with the high cases, seeing that you only have one free rehabilitation center? And do you perhaps know what the state is doing to, you know, improve the situation? Are they planning on building more rehabilitation centers? And I've also seen that we only have how many psychologists? 7. And I saw a number 5. Number 5 was psychiatrists and 11 nurses. So for a population of 3 million people, how are we actually managing? Yeah.
Right. Where is the other mic that was floating around, ladies and gentlemen? Okay. Who is taking that? Either one.
So I'll answer partly on the first question regarding the successes. So we officially started this last week. Last week, January. Last week, the 13th of October to date. So the plan is to run through all the OMAs until the end of this month. And so far, from the ones that we've attended, I've attended the MURD, Veteran Affairs, and this is my third one, so I will only speak on the ones that I've attended. I don't know about the other colleagues. But one thing that I've noticed is the numbers. there were quite a lot of people that came there. The interest was there, and the questions that were also answered, especially when they were talking about workplace wellness. One of the biggest ones that I've actually noticed is majority of them were complaining that most of their mental health challenges has a lot to do with work, because the reality is 3/4 of our lives is spent at work. So it was that, and then there was issues also with supervisors and I think hierarchies, where someone would knock at, I don't know, maybe someone higher, and they'll be like, yeah, I don't speak to subordinates, quite shocked. So they're talking about the attitude, they're talking about the trust, and confidentiality was really lacking within the workplace. But from the greatest success of all the 3 places that I've been, including this one, today was the first one that I've attended where the minister was actually present. So that's really great. Yeah. And the complaints of the other ones that I've been is that the very people, the decision makers that were supposed to be there, were not there, because they were like, what's the point of empowering us when the ones we're having problems with or whatever are not even present? So yeah, that was a great success. I guess we'll get to know everything towards the end of the month. Yeah, with the answer regarding what the ministry is doing with the number of specialized staff that we don't have. Regarding the rehabilitation centers, I'm not quite sure what the plan is. I probably won't be the right person to talk. Probably there is something that the government is doing about it, but there are a lot more private rehabilitation facilities that also do take or accept medical aid. Regarding the specialists and the psychologists, the ministry has actually come up with a sponsorship. They're actually encouraging all the district hospitals that have doctors to actually go and specialize, where they are taking care of the tuition, the accommodation, and transport. The question is, do the people want to go and specialize? That's the thing. So there is something that the ministry is doing about it. Thank you.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, Doctor, for clarifying and answering to some of our valid questions. And indeed, the Namibian government is doing the most, right? It's now up to us as parents to advise our children, our sisters, our nieces and nephews to take up, study courses such as in medicine. Like she said, government is sponsoring, fully funded, paid. Theirs is to show up, right? Now, ladies and gentlemen, I believe we have exhausted this topic for this morning or afternoon rather, and this now brings us to the closing remarks. And ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome on stage Ms. Linda Nakale Aipinge, Acting Executive Director in the Ministry of ICT, to come and deliver her closing remarks.
Yes, good afternoon, everyone. That's not good enough. Good afternoon, everybody. All right. What is mental health and what is mental illness? I hope we're able to distinguish between the two. Are we? What a morning it was, ending in this afternoon. I would first of all like to just thank the Honorable Minister for really availing her time. As we have heard, she's the first one to attend these sessions. I think with the circular that came, it indicates that the ministers, the EDs, deputy ministers and EDs and all managements must attend events like this. So I'm really happy that beside the fact that we already had our event on the 10th of October, we were able again to pull this off. So we thank the Honorable Minister for the support that she has rendered for us to really make this possible. I would like to thank all those that are attending here physically and virtually. I know our speakers were wondering as to why the cameras were so much into their faces. We are the Ministry of Information. What else? Yeah, so we need to ensure that those that are unable to be here could be here with us. We have regional offices, and we also wanted to accommodate the regional offices from the head office. The technical team, my favorite people, please do whatever you want to do, but I'm going to say that. They are making this possible. They started setting up already before we all could be here. So without you, this would not be possible. Our photographers, like right here, I'm looking at the photographer. And she's capturing this moment that would remain in the books of the Ministry of ICT. What do we do without you? Thank you so much. To everybody who is here, everybody who has been part of the planning process, we thank you so much for making this possible. To our speakers, Ms. Kalimba, the doctor, the famous doctor, and the chief inspector, we thank you so much. We at times take things for granted. We think we know what we do not know. Thank you for reminding us. I hope you'll be available in the near future, as we will be calling on you to still remind us in terms of what we need to know. You talked about the issues of mental health, mental illness, the suicide, the issue, all these things, the strategies on how to cope. Really, thank you so much for parting your knowledge. We respect your profession. And I think from now on, let's give more respect to what these people are doing. We have seen the statistics. Few people are doing much that is expected from many people. Please, let's give that respect to that. So we need to create safe places, the issue of trust, the issue of confidentiality at the workplace. When somebody confides in you, please do not, what did she say? The verbal diarrhea. So I think every time when somebody tells you, just ask yourself, am I that verbal diarrhea? I think that should be our word going forward. The wellness committee, we don't have wellness officers, but we have wellness committee, a committee that is facilitating that. And I would like to thank you really for pulling this together. I think in the month of October, we were able, like I said, to have our second event. Then, your Manga and Emerentia, I want you to stand up. Where's Manga? On the 9th of October, I was attending the Binational Commission between Botswana and Namibia. And I came to the office after 5. And I found Emerentia in the office, and like, they are somewhere setting up for the event of the 10th. Maybe you would like to go and see. So I came down. I found the similar chairs here. It was close to 7. So we came to inspect how they were setting up and all that. And then, somehow among the 3 of us, I can't even remember who said what. Then we saw that room on your right. There's a banner there. That room on your right. And I would like you to visit that after we are done with this official program. And then we went in there, and then we just started with these ideas like, what about starting a wellness corner? Why can't we just use this place? And my instructions, because it was on Thursday, Friday, I was traveling to Swakop with the Botswana delegation. I said, when we host our event on the 20th, I want to see this room set up. Believe it or not, you can see for yourself in terms of how it started with the idea. And just because I had to come down, and then this colleague showed me, and then we went there, you won't believe what you're seeing. And this is just the beginning. We are starting this work. We're really hoping to create a safe place. The Honorable Minister said from Cabinet directed that we actually create safe places at the workplace. So I thank the 2 colleagues that particular day. I will never remember that day on the 9th of October when I came down here and we went in there and we brainstormed and we made it a reality. Thank you to the 2 of you. Thank you. Please be seated. Thank you very much. This is work in progress as it has been communicated. You're welcome to give your ideas in terms of how you want that room to look like. It has 2 compartments. One will be a lighter one will be a darker moment. Samita, where's Samita? Because we also had a Samita, very key also. I think Emmy also told me the other day to say, no, they are setting up the room. Maybe you can go and check. I found Samita seated there. A couple of people came, Vilo came, and others, and all that. We're making fun of all that. But it's beautiful, and Samita is quite committed to make sure that that corner is workable, and it's for all of us. So we'll communicate the details in terms of how you can access that. We don't want you to all to meet up at one point, but we really want just to make it a safer place. And you're welcome to give us your advice. I've seen a couple of you. I've even heard this morning, I was informed that there's a potential sponsor who wants to, I don't know whether that sponsor is listening, but what they heard is that that sponsor has something at home that they are not using, that they would want to give to the ministry. Philemon Johannes, we have heard. I'll talk nicely to Mendina about that. So, so thank you so much. It's for all of us. Let's make use of it. Let's give our input in terms of how we can make that workable. With that, if I leave out anybody, we talked about anxiety. I have anxiety at this point, so if I leave you out, please just blame it on the anxiety. And the MC, your MC, thank you so much for availing yourself to take on this lead. You did a great job, and we appreciate you. This is a product of the Ministry of ICT. We didn't need to hire anybody. We are the Ministry of ICT, right? Yes, thank you so much.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, indeed, thank you, ED, for that heartfelt word, for those heartfelt words, and for always steering our ministry towards wellness, towards empathy, with empathy and purpose. We are particularly grateful for our wellness corner or our wellness room. We appreciate that our employer is indeed looking after us. Thank you so much, ED. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I see we are hungry, right? It's lunch, we are sleeping, and all right, but okay. We have come to the end of this program, but we are a Christian nation. We've opened this engagement with the prayer. Mr. Malumo is now available to do the closing prayer, and then we end the engagement. Mr. Malumo, please come grace us. He's here now. We missed you this morning, but you are here now. Your counterpart bailed you out, but thank you. Thank you, Didi.
Yeah, I thought I was off the hook. All right. Thank you so much, colleagues. We have to pray, but before we pray, I want to leave with you a verse, okay? It's found in 1 Peter chapter 5, verse 7. Who knows the verse? It says, cast all your anxiety upon him because he cares. Huh? You know that verse? Yes. Because our God is a God who cares. The other one says what? Bring all your burdens unto me and I'm going to give you what? Rest and peace. The problem is that we just want to carry our problems every day and we don't want to talk to anyone, including God. Then we become a problem. All right, let's pray. Shall we bow our heads? We have to close our eyes as we pray. Okay, let's pray. Dear God, we are so grateful to you this morning to learn that, Lord, you are a God who cares for us. In as much as individuals and human beings, we care for each other. We are grateful that you have brought us together here so that we can be able to discuss issues, Lord, that will be able to sustain our lives. But we remember and know that, Lord, without you, we are nothing. Because you are the God who created us and who understands all our troubles. We pray that, Lord, may you come into our families, into our workplaces, and may you take charge of all the troubles that we have. Help us, O Lord, to reset our minds because, Lord, you created us. You know how to reset us, Father, to the default settings so that we can be able to operate properly and do our work properly. We are grateful for the leadership of our ministry and the entire government that you have assigned to us. That, Lord, they did not just leave us irrespective of the traumas and the problems we go through. But, Lord, they have come up with these programs to be able to help us in our struggles. We are thankful for the doctors, the nurses, and the social workers that have spoken to us today. We know that it is you, Lord, who gave them the wisdom and the knowledge to speak to us. May all that they have spoken be in our hearts to guide us every day. Thank you, Lord. We pray that may you take all our burdens away and give us rest. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Hallelujah. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, we have officially concluded our program for this